his own brethren laughed and mocked. Don't forget about Cain, Abel. One was hated and murdered. Don't get it twisted, your own brethren are doing the same, but Satan is to blame. Don't forget it, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It is the king of pride who is to blame. After these things, love becomes easy. Use this energy to open the scriptures, because people's hearts are burned. Make disciples be the tree of life. Take the land, remove the sand. Every belly is yours to fill with that living water. Take the sword in the left hand and play that harp like you in a band. Utilizing God's hand, that rod of God. That's right, the rod of God. Who was in Moses' hand? Who was sent to free God's people from the land? Moses did no miracles. It was the rod in his hand. Look back at the 10 plagues were because of the rod. Think back to the Red Sea. Moses was in fear and crying. He went to God, forgetting what was in his hand. God's response was simple. Why you crying to me? Take the rod, the Red Sea split. Over and over again, the rod proved itself to be the authority of God. When the vipers came, it was the brazen serpent on the rod.
Agape. There's no A when I say America. No A. Go straight to the M. America. Homeboy.
Once again, so disciple, take the stand. Have no fear, birth thy loins like a man. After the death, burial, and resurrection, iron rod was given to you. Like Moses, it's not you that does the miracles, it's the iron rod in your hand. Now go, open the blind eyes, open the deaf ears, make the lame walk in the dumb to speak. Be bold, you are no longer weak. Now go, make disciples in all the nations. Don't waste time arguing about philosophy and titles. Use the iron rod to understand the Bible. Open the scriptures, allow God to show you the shadows. With the iron rod, he will share a secret. You can be 100-fold. Truth be told, don't settle for less. You have been given authority from the best. Now go. Now go.
No. Agape, there is nothing before the M. Listen, nothing before the M. You have to start America with just an M. And you can put a U after the M. Get it? America. You can do it with an E, a U. Don't matter. Either one. So there's no, it's not AM, it's not UM, it's MU or ME. I got to explain this every day to this woman right here. I don't understand it. What is the problem here? Please put it right. Just put it in the chat one time, right? Please. Please. I want to see if you get it. Put it in there, please. I beg you. I beg you. How long? No, how much longer? How much longer? Let's see. You look like a vet, but with dementia. America. There you go. You can do it like that too, as long as it starts with an M. Antonio said, you look like a vet, but with dementia. People are crazy, bro. Oh, man. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let's see. I am a Navy SEAL. Cool. How much to punch yourself in the face? In the cool of the you showed me your glory. I've seen yours. I've become this scared before. I thought I knew everything. Your endless wisdom takes away my shame. I'm the one to blame, but I called on Jesus. I called your name, and you came. Lord, you know all things that I want to talk about. When we met, it was a still small voice, but I heard it loud and clear. If we said, Lord, it's your way, took away all fear. I was reading about the garden of sound of the trumpet.
I looked around, but there was no one to be found. It was cool that night. I wrapped the covers around me more tight. I even had a candlelight. I continued to read. It happened again in the story of Moses, and the burning bush Moses turned aside. Morning. The voice came from the midst of the tree. At the moment I heard the sound of the trumpet. The trumpet sound became more familiar in each story. The sound was familiar. It was comfortable. It was you. You called my name. I did not hide. So in my heart, you could abide in the east of Eden. The garden you planted. I am in you, and you in I. Only in your garden, the secret place. I hear your voice in the midst of the garden, the tree of life. There I find my rest. There I find my shade. In the story of Jericho, it was you who knocked down the wall. The 7 priests carrying the ark. The trumpets blasted, but all I heard was you. Even when you spoke to the children, and all they could hear caused fear. I rejoiced to the sound in Ruth's voice, calling near his kinsmen to the city gate. When I heard Boaz say he would redeem both Naomi and Ruth boldly, I heard a trumpet sound.
That's good news, Alex. I'm glad you're feeling better. I still say go to the doctor, man. It's all good.
You called my name, I did not hide. So in my heart,
U.S. Army. Yes, U.S. Army.
The garden you planted, I am in you, and you in I. In your garden, the secret place. Your voice in the midst of the garden, the tree of life. There I find my rest. There I find my shade. When the epiphany hit that I was your plan, all along the trumpet sound came out of the midst of me. I remembered when Jesus said he was the light and we were the branches. The trumpet sounded again. The trumpet sounded again. It was you the whole time on the inside of me. I was fooled to
Believe you are out there somewhere.
the truth the way you are.
Is what set me free. You abide in me. You abide in me.
You called my name, I did not hide. So in my heart, you could abide in the east of Eden. The garden you planted.
I am in you, and you in I.
Only in your garden, the secret place. I hear your voice in the midst of the garden, the tree of life.
Where I
Find my rest, there I find my shade.
God is amazing. God is amazing. Yeah. Look outside, prove to me it's not beautiful. Yeah. Throughout the day, you must be blind if you don't see a miracle. Pick your head up, don't be carnal, and then be spiritual. Don't allow an excuse to bring you down. Tell yourself the truth and put on your crown. You are a child of the Most High, so tell those lying feelings bye. Because God is amazing. Throughout my day, I smile because of Him. I'm tempted to drown, but I can swim. Time flies by when you're having fun, so remind yourself you are His son. If the days with a smile.
Then control yourself with style while looking up to heaven, agaze and remind yourself while looking up to heaven, agaze and remind yourself. Of course, the hard times will come, but your flesh is dead. Those lying feelings are numb. The truth is what sets you free. So eat the word of God in the form of honey. Let your heart not be troubled. Count it all joy and rejoice in the Lord. There is no room to be bold. Because God is amazing. Throughout my day I smile because of Him. I'm tempted to drown, but I can swim. Time flies by when you're having fun, so remind yourself you are His son. If the day is only beautiful with a smile, control yourself with style while looking up to heaven, gazing. Remind yourself while looking up to heaven.
I'm so confused. What are you confused about, man?
We have been set free. Tell them the good news. Tell them stop singing the blues. I just said the time is now. Rejoice before the rocks do. I just said tell the rocks to shut up. You heard when the trumpet blew. Yeah,
This is pre-recorded. If it was pre-recorded, how would I be reading your comment? These people are crazy, bro. This is pre-recorded. Nope. Today is December 10th, 2025. Where I'm at in Texas, it is 9:28 a.m. 2025, December 10th. 9:28 a.m. Central Time. Tell me how that's pre-recorded. Oh, Lord.
God is amazing.
I don't know why it always goes to that. I'm not really sure. Why are we... I don't know why it goes to that one either.
People read the black letters
On the white page, but they don't see them.
But the shadows are their brightest day, but to them
They are dim.
as a teacher, it's easy to get others to see. But
As a hater, all you can do is ridicule me.
well, I command those blind eyes to see, those deaf ears to hear, and that dumb mouth to speak. Clearly in the
Past 20 years, it hadn't said a thing.
many will say,
Lord, Lord.
in that great day. But you better have the right gift if you
Wanna
want to stay.
stay.
Jesus will do the same to you as He did to them on the road to Emmaus. Starting from Moses through the prophets, He will open the scriptures concerning Himself. With your heart burning.
It's 16:29. No, it's not, Bubba. It's 9:29. 9:29 now.
Your heart has been dry for too long. Let the net of God pull you from this dead sea before the hook of goddamn you stay. The choice is yours. Allow the love of God to pull you out with no doubt. Submerged into this living water. You will start off as a toddler. Watch the transformation take place as the tree of life comes alive inside of you. Now your belly no longer filled with dust, rather rivers of living water. Then you become weak as your disciple. As a teacher, you will now see what it's like to receive hate as Jesus did. Receiving revelation from spirit causes even your brothers in Christ to mock. Don't believe for a second you were any different than your brother Joseph. You won't forget it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. It is the King of pride who was to blame. After these things, love becomes easy. Use this energy to open the scriptures because people's hearts to burn. Make disciples be the tree of life. Take the land, remove the sand. Every belly is yours to fill with that living water. Take the sword in the left hand and play that harp like you in a band. Utilizing God's hand, that rod of God. That's right, the rod of God. Who was in Moses' hand? Who was sent to free God's people from the land? Moses did no miracles. It was the rod in his hand. Look back at the 10 plagues were because of the rod. Think back to the Red Sea. Moses was in fear and crying. He went to God, forgetting what was in his hand. God's response was simple. Why you crying to me? Take the rod, the Red Sea split. Over and over again, the rod proved itself to be the authority of God. When the vipers came, it was the brazen serpent on the rod that became the name Joshua. Only won the battle because the rod was lifted up once again. When Christ came, He said all authority was given to Him. Did He have a rod?
No, he didn't.
He was the rod who was sent to free God's people from the land. Here once again, so disciple, take the stand. Have no fear, gird thy loins like a man. After the death, burial, and resurrection, iron rod was given to you. Like Moses, it's not you that does the miracles. It's the iron rod in your hand. Now go, open the blind eyes, open the deaf ears, make the lame walk in the dumb to speak. Be bold, you are no longer weak. Now go, make disciples in all the nations. Don't waste time arguing about philosophy and titles. Use the iron rod to understand the Bible. Open the scriptures, allow God to show you the shadows. With the iron rod, he will share a secret. You can be 100-fold. Truth be told, don't settle for less. You have been given authority
from the best.
Now go.
Now go. Now go and what? Be fruitful. That's what. Now go and do that. Nah. People get saved and like, now go and stop sitting. Can you imagine?
Moses.
Listen to this song real quick. Hold up.
He will share a secret. You can be 100-fold. Truth be told, don't settle for less. You have been given
authority from the best. So you've been given authority from the best to stop sinning. No, bro. To be fruitful and multiply. That has always been as a branch. That is what branches do. Jeez. Man, let me go back to. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Hold on a second. I don't know why I can't. Hold on, give me a second.
Good morning, everybody.
Look who it is. You come to get Trout about his 14 kids comment?
What'd you say?
I said, did you come to get Trot for his 14 kids comment yesterday?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, well, people were supposed to tell you.
Oh, man. Y'all done forgot to tell me, man. Come on, chat.
Yeah, I was talking crap about you, hoping that someone went and told you to make you come over here.
They failed. They didn't say nothing.
I can't remember how I threw you in. We were talking about
you
something.
You said be fruitful.
Oh, yeah.
You said be fruitful and multiply like Breezy, and it has 14 kids. That's fruitful and multiply.
Read that.
And I said, y'all make sure to tell him, too, so he can bring his face over here. That boy ain't been here in about 2 weeks.
Of course, hey, I guarantee you that's what people think.
Bad, bro.
Hey, that's what people think being fruitful and multiply is, having a bunch of kids.
Well, no, that was the point. The point is that even Islam, one of the things I was saying is how Islam, because they each one of them have like 20 kids. So in their head, They think they're doing what they're supposed to do, take over the land. And I'm like, bro, why y'all? I said, are you not listening? This is a fallen world. I said, you really think God did not tell Adam take over the fallen world. He said, be fruitful and multiply, but he's talking about in the perfect world that he made. And this ain't it. So I said, so what? I said, y'all think y'all are like, yeah, we're taking it. I said, brother, y'all are fighting for a desert. I said, what's going to end up happening, because you're not paying attention, you don't understand. You're not understanding what you're reading. I said, people who are receiving Christ as their Lord and Savior based on the death, burial, and resurrection, we're all going to be in the land that we are taking over. I said, when y'all realize this, what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to try to fight to enter? Y'all ain't going to get in. You're missing it. And I said, it'll be like Breezy had 14 kids out here. Even though, just to be clear, Breezy does not have 14 kids. Okay. It's a joke that he made when he was with us in person. He was making a joke of himself. He was playing. He wasn't even being serious. Yeah. And so I was hoping that maybe my trash talk will bring him back. All right, I'm gonna play one more song, guys, and we're gonna get to it. Okay. Remember, we're still talking about being fruitful and multiply. I'm gonna play one more song. Okay, this song literally is called Harness Your Emotions. So if you don't know how to do that, hopefully this will help.
Call me the toe stomper. Get your steel toe boots on. Try to have a question. Okay, go ahead with your question. How are Christians today so defeated? And that's easy. They need to take their thumb out their mouth and stop being so easily offended. Shouldn't we be nice to one another? Is Satan nice to you, brother? Well, No. Yes, he is. He loves your flesh. But I don't. It gets in the way. And if you keep acting out from it, that's how you will stay. The Bible tells us the flesh is enmity to God. So tell it to shut up already. It's kicking your butt. When I hear the flesh give its testimony, you still sound like you were stuck in a rut. All I hear is death, no living breath. Our testimony is supposed to be of the spirit full of life and resemble God like you got the iron rod. But when you give your testimony, you have a tendency to sound like the enemy and glorify him. But the sound of that testimony, you might need to question who your father is because you will glorify the wrong one, son. You say you have authority, why don't you use it? Grow up! I'm sorry, did I offend your flesh? Doesn't the Bible teach the flesh is dead? How is yours still alive? If I was to kick a dead man by the side of the road, I promise you he wouldn't budge. But the grass growing underneath your corpse tickles and you laugh. Fouls of the air pecking at you, tugs on your emotions and you float through the wind like chaff. You need to take a bath. Your life sounds like a horror film, like you're stuck in a nightmare you can't get out of. That's because you're focused on the wrong foul of the air. You need to focus on the dub. Because of that, you manipulate everyone around you to get in their feelings like witchcraft. You put them in an ocean on a small raft. You don't bring smiles to people's faces, you bring them frowns. But you tell everyone Christ lives on the inside of you.
Where's the proof of that?
All I see is false crowns. I don't see it, I don't taste it, I don't feel it, I don't smell it, I don't definitely don't hear it. You were supposed to harness your emotions. The Bible calls it gird your loins. This happened because you got converted instead of being discipled. You need to start back at square one so you can finally give a testimony from the Spirit. A testimony that will cause everyone to want to hear it. None of the past that the flesh created, but of the now and in the future, the one that Christ advocated. You say you have authority, why don't you use it? Grow up! I'm sorry, did I offend your flesh? Doesn't the Bible teach the flesh is dead? How is yours still alive? If I was to kick a dead man by the side of the road, I promise you he wouldn't budge. But the grass growing underneath your corpse tickles and you laugh. Fouls of the air pecking at you, tugs on your emotions and you float through the wind like chaff. You need to take a bath. Your life sounds like a horror film. Look, you're stuck in a nightmare you can't get out of. That's because you're focused on the wrong foul of the air. You need to focus on the dub. Because of that, you manipulate everyone around you to get in their feelings like witchcraft. You put them in an ocean on a small raft. You don't bring smiles to people's faces, you bring them frowns. While you tell everyone Christ lives on the inside of you. Where's the proof of that? Tell the flesh to shut up and listen to the spirit that's inside of you. Listen to the words that are being spoken to you. Words of life and the truth. Gird your loins because you're gonna make it. Stop allowing the flesh to lie to you. Debate it. What the problem is, God is 1,000 ways that you haven't even thought of as he is always you in this world. Those steps have already been ordered. Fear not, let your heart not be troubled. Count it all joy. These are the words that should come out of your heart. Tell the flesh to shut up and use the shield of faith to block that dart. Harness your emotions. Man, be like David and put on the armor of God and get in your car and throw that flesh down. Don't be like Saul. Don't fall apart like a $2 suitcase. Harness your emotions. Harness your emotions. Harness your emotions.
That's right. Your testimony is not supposed to sound like a nightmare. That's the whole point of this song right here. I hear people's testimonies. I feel like going getting a gun and unaliving myself. Like, what the heck? Been talking about this crap for 20 minutes. When are you gonna start talking about Jesus? Oh, I am. I'm talking about him right now. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You may have been fooled that what you're doing is a testimony. That ain't a testimony. Listen, everybody's got crap in their past. Everybody. And we all know that. So we need to get to a point where while we're so amazed to hear someone's testimony, you already know that there's crap in their life, just like yours, just like there's crap in yours. You already know that. So because theirs is different than yours, then somehow what? Because it's different. No. My friend, the testimony starts when you got saved. Your past is not the testimony. You can quickly say, oh yeah, I was blind and now I see. There's the testimony. I was blind and now I see. Okay, now tell me what you see. There's where your testimony starts, right there. Tell me what you see now. Tell me what you see. And the man said, I see men walking like trees. You see? And people miss it. They miss it. They think They think that Jesus messed up, that God himself had to pray again to heal a man. You want to know if someone is descaled or not? Okay, listen. This is about mocking the flesh. Don't misunderstand. You're not mocking the soul of the person, but we have to. You have to understand that when you can see, you'll be tempted. You'll be tempted to do this thing, and you'll do it. And I'm not talking about temptation from Satan. I don't mean that kind of temptation. I mean where because you can see God's world, you can't help it but laugh on how the flesh sees. You can't help it. Okay? The whole Bible is full of this. My favorite is Elijah. I've told a lot of people. My favorite is Elijah. Elijah, uh, uh Elijah, he tells these prophets of Baal, these prophets of Baal are trying to get this fire from God to answer. And Elijah already knows that they're not going to. He tries to get them to God to answer with fire. And he says, hey, maybe y'all need to cry out louder, because maybe your God is sleeping or he's on a journey or just a way he's telling him. But he already knows, bro, that God doesn't answer to that. That's not what's getting him to answer. Are you yelling and crying more? And no, he doesn't get, that's not how he, oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Nobody even told me unless someone did and I didn't realize it. But the flesh, you'll start noticing that you will mock stuff that the flesh has had you doing. The flesh had you doing. And I'm not talking about sin. I'm talking about how it saw you, how you saw God, like Job. How Job saw God. He only understood him by stuff that he heard, but he didn't have a relationship with him. When you have a relationship with him, you come at him different. You don't come to him in your flesh. You no longer will do that. You're not coming to him. There are people to this day, they're saved, but they still try to utilize their flesh to get God's attention. And that's not how you got his attention to begin with. If you are saved, your flesh played no part in getting God's attention. It played no part. Listen, we've been led to believe that your flesh plays a part, but it's not true, not even a little bit. Okay, who is that? Corn dog. I don't see any other message from you. Corn dog. Oh, hey man, just wanted to say I love your beard. All right, appreciate that. Corn dog, let's see. But that's what that song is, that I just played. That's what that song points out. And I'm telling you, Christians who have uh Christians who have came to God and they take this past, right? First of all, God brought all of us out of the old us. He brought us out of it. Okay, that's straight facts, right? But what Satan has done, he has gotten the physical person to believe that talking about the past is how we glorify God. Your past was not fruitful. Your past was not fruitful. And Jesus tells us right here in John 15:7 says, if ye abide in me and my word abide in ye, I'm sorry, not 7. Apologize.
Unknown caller.
8. What was the next verse? Jesus tells in John 15:8, herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear fruit, much fruit, not just fruit, but much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. He's saying in his world, it's about us bearing fruit. That's how he knows you're his disciple, because there's fruit in his world because of you. That right here. Herein is my Father glorified. How do you glorify the Father? By talking about your past. So if you talk about your testimony, that is how you glorify the Father? No, absolutely not. That's not what Scripture says. Scripture says, herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So in your past, while your testimony is freaking 2 hours long, and you're talking about all this crap that you did, is any of that glorify the Father? Somebody help me out. Does that glorify the Father, talking about that?
No,
No, it doesn't. And when you say, yeah, it does, because I'm talking about what Jesus brought me out of. You're still not listening to what I'm saying. You are not listening to what I'm saying to you. The only way anything about us glorifies the Father is when we are bearing fruit. So use your time to bear fruit. If somebody asks you, if somebody asks you to tell your testimony, then you need to do the truth. Then the truth is, I was blind and now I see. That's the testimony. That's the testimony right there. That's the beginning. That is the testimony. And then from there, you need to start showing that you prayed for wisdom, that you prayed to be fruitful and to multiply, and talk about the disciples that God has led you to. Talk about them. Let me tell you about this guy so-and-so. This is what he does now. Let me tell you about this person. You're not bragging, you're glorifying God, for God's sakes. You're glorifying God. But we have been led to believe that if you talk about your past for so long, my friend, listen. If you're trying to talk about your past because maybe you're trying to get someone to you're trying to get someone to understand that you understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Somebody throws something out there, something that's dumb in the past that either you've done or you've heard someone do. What's something that you could say, oh, I understand that. What's one of the dumb things that's in this world? Somebody give me one. I don't care what it is.
Stealing.
Okay.
Friend of a fan.
I don't know. I heard CJ say stealing. Okay. Let's just say your thing was theft, stealing. That's your thing, or it was your thing in the past. Okay. Man. And let's just choose car theft. I'll just choose that. Okay. I've never stole a car. I know how to get into cars, but I've never stole a car. But there are people that's what they used to do for a living. Matter of fact, they made a movie of it with Nicolas Cage. Y'all ever seen it? Anybody ever seen it? Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, he's the one who played Ghost Rider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he plays in a movie. It might be, is it Gone in 60 Seconds? Maybe.
That sounds right.
All right.
Sounds familiar.
Either way, he was a car thief. Like, he was really good at getting in a bunch of Gone in 6 seconds. Okay. Well, anyhow, in that movie, they basically had his brother, and they're like, hey, man, we're going to unalive him if you don't get us these cars. And he's like, holy crap. He's like, but I'm done. They're like, nah, you ain't. now, we're going to utilize your skill. You are going to utilize your skill to keep your brother alive. Apparently, I think his brother might have owed them a lot of money. But the point is, that's what he did for a living. That's real. There are people out there, that is what they do for a living. Okay? They steal cars, stealing people's materialistic things. It's still wrong. It's still theft. It's envy. It's theft. if that's what you did for a long time, okay, and you meet someone, and when you meet them, um, you realize after talking to them that that's what they do. That's what they do, but they're having a come to Christ moment, and you realize that. 99 said, "I'm older now, gone in 3 minutes and 45 seconds." Yeah, but the thing is, if you were to say, "Hey, I know exactly where you're at. I've done that," and they're like, "What do you mean?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I used to steal cars for a living, man. I did it for this many years. I know how to get into," and they're like, "Yeah, right. How do you get into this kind of car? You do it like this." And you're just telling them, "I know how to do it." So in a way, it could kind of the person can kind of put their guard down. You understand? They're like, "Oh, okay, he understands where I'm coming from." Maybe this guy's like, "Man, it's good money. It's good money, and I don't want to stop doing it. It's too good." And the guy's like, "I know. I used to do it, and I stopped doing it." Trust me, I understand completely why you would talk about the things that you did, not to glorify it, but to discuss it, to get this person to know, bro, that is not the answer. It's not. So do not misunderstand what I'm saying about testimonies, but you need to be able to discern when you need to use that to a very specific person. But if a group of people tell you, "Can you come tell us your testimony?" How in the world did this thing, what we call testimony, how did this turn into, "Come tell us your horror film of your life, how Satan beat you up for 10 years. Uh, we're going to eat popcorn. You're going to be our movie tonight." You are feeding the flesh of people. I am telling you right now, that is what you're doing. I don't care if you don't see it yet, you don't understand it yet. I really don't. I don't give crap. I'm sitting here telling you that's what you're doing. You're feeding people's flesh. If you are feeding someone's flesh, you are not being fruitful. You are not being fruitful. The new person that's around the neighborhood or coming to the church, "Oh, look, he's next. He's next. Get him in here. I want to hear his testimony." I mean, you acting like people in Sodom and Gomorrah. You are fiending for the flesh more than you are for the spirit, and you don't even see it. You have this addiction that you have to hear. I need to hear how the testimony, and then we turn this into glorifying God. My friend, let me be the one to stomp on your toes. You have been lied to. That is not the testimony of Jesus Christ. And when you try to do this little slick thing, "No, no, no, it's what he pulled me out of." Right. He pulled you out of that. How are you not hearing what I'm saying? Again, um, this is elementary. No duh that he pulled you out of the crap. But when you talk about the crap for 20 longer than 5 minutes. If your testimony of your horror film is longer than 5 minutes, my friend, you are doing what I'm telling you you are not supposed to be doing. I fully understand why you would use that to talk to someone like, "Hey man, that's not the way to go." I get it. I get it 100%. But when Jesus is talking about uh "Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit." And you're like, "Oh, well, it's just that one day. The rest of the time, I make disciples." Listen, I don't know why and how you protect this what you have turned into a falsified testimony of Christ. None of that has to do anything with Christ. Getting straight to the jugular. "I was blind and now I see." I get it. Maybe saying, "Oh, well, the man, the Satan had me on the path of this," whatever this is. I can do mine in 5 seconds. I was blind, now I see. My bad, I lied. 3 seconds. Listen, you want to go into all the stupidity? Listen. You're not going to hear anything different. Every person is saying the exact same thing. It's this horror film over and over. Becomes very repetitive. I get it. Okay. Horrible. Just it makes no sense. But the reason why it makes no sense is because wrong teaching will always lead to wrong believing, wrong teaching. But right teaching will lead you to right believing, right? So believing right teaching, believing wrong, right? And I'm talking about how you're ministering to people. All right. So it's been passed down for a very long time that the way that we do that is by talking about all the intricate details of your horror in your life. Lord have mercy. Like I said, some of you, when y'all are done, I just want to go get a gun and end it, for God's sakes. That is not how what the person is supposed to think of when you go from this 30-second explanation on how life sucked and then life became, and I'm not talking about life in this world, okay? Not talking about that. All right, that's part of it. The life sucked here. But I'm talking about when you find life. You don't find life here in this world if you still ain't figured that out. That's not where you find life. You find life in the only thing that exists that is life, which is Christ. Okay? And Christ will make you a giver, not a taker. That's what he'll make you. You will become a giver. Satan is a taker. Satan's not a giver, but Christ will make you a giver. So your horror film that you used to use to my testimony, I think you need to start working on a new one. Your testimony needs to be, I was blind, now I see. Okay, now you see. Now tell us what you see. Oh, well, I don't see my old me anymore. Yeah, you do, because that's all you talk about is the old you. I want to know what you see now. Somebody pull up where Jesus heals the man and he says he sees man as trees. Let's go to that real quick. And then we'll get back into John 15, because all these things play a part in all of this. It matters. What you see in the Bible is going to show what comes out of your mouth, right? Or vice versa. What's coming out of your mouth is showing you what you see in the Bible. When you hear people do what they call this testimony, and it's a freaking horror film, they still don't see. They still don't see, bro. They don't see it.
Mark 8.
Mark 8? Mark 8 what?
It depends on where you want me to start. Technically, it's 24, but
No, obviously. All right.
Start at 22.
I don't know. Is it 22?
I was thinking we'd start at 19 or 20, but
Let's see if y'all you still don't know how to do this yet, Christian? Lord have mercy, man.
You go to 19 then, Christian, and just read down.
Hold on. Let me see if that's right. Let me see. Let me. Mark 19. That's what y'all saying it's at? Or, I'm sorry. What'd y'all say? Mark what?
Oh, it's Mark 24, but we don't start there.
No,
yeah, Mark chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
8:24. 8:24. Sorry.
All right. Hold on. Let me get to 8. Let's see where y'all want to start. Let's see. 19. They said unto him.
Mm.
12. And when the 7 among the 1,000, they said 7. And he said to them, how is it that ye do not understand? All right. So we're probably going to have to start. And when Jesus knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye because you have no bread? Let me see. Perceive not, neither have an eye, see not. Okay. So this is important because he's about to heal a man. And he tells him right here, having eyes, see ye not, having ears, hear ye not. So it's before 19, before 18. All right. Pharisees came forth. So it starts at 11, verse 11. Okay. Verse 11 says, and the Pharisees came forth and began to question him. You want to start right there.
And the Pharisees came forth and began to question with him, I should say, seeking of him a sign from heaven, tempting him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and saith, why doth this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation. And he left them and entered into the ship again, departed to the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf. And he charged them, saying, Take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have no bread. And when Jesus knew it, he saith unto them, Why reason ye, because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not, neither understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Have eyes see ye not? Having eyes see ye not, and having ears hear ye not? And do ye not remember? When I break the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? They say unto him, 12.
All right, right there. All right, right there. All right, right there. So he's saying, guys, how are you seeing me do these things, but you're not seeing? This is so important. So he's not just bringing up what he did. He's saying, how come you can't see what this is? Why can't you see? He tells the scribes and the Pharisees, you search the scriptures seeking life, but they contest of me. Again, how are you able to read this, but you can't see what it is saying? It's just contesting of Christ. But yet it's played out in all these people's lives, but they can't see it. And he's saying the same thing right here. He says, perceive ye not yet, neither understand. You still don't understand. Have ye your heart yet hardened? Why is that important that he said that? Is your heart hardened? Why is he saying that?
They're still talking about like physical things, and he's talking about spiritual revelation.
Okay, so let's talk about physical things. What is that? What's physical things?
Like as what people would call a testimony.
No, not testimony. In this world, what is physical things? According to the Bible, what are physical things? What? Like what?
Well, just off of that passage in Mark alone, it'd be like physical bread, and we didn't have physical bread, so they're
right.
like, oh, the physical situation, we didn't have physical
Right.
bread.
Okay, so why is that
So
important? Okay, so why is that important? Because Jesus is the bread of life.
Right.
But they're still thinking things in this world.
Right.
So if you're thinking things in this world, then that means your heart is not where?
Not on the things above.
Right. So that means your heart is not in the secret place.
Right.
You're not there. For some reason, you're so quick to come back to this world. But I'm talking to you about things in the other world. It's so clear what he's saying. How can you not see what? The other world. How can you not hear what? The other world. How are you not hearing what's happening there? How are you not seeing what's happening there? Why is it me who came from there? I came from there and I'm doing these things, and you're trying to perceive who, what, when, where, and why regarding him. You're trying to see and understand those things based on this world. When he says my ways are not your ways, he's saying my world is not the ways of your world.
Yep. And he's saying of those who are not born again, he'd give them the Nicodemus, where he would say, how can you, if you can't understand things in this world because you're not born again, how can you understand the things of the heavenly, the things of the heavenly world?
Right. So he says, have your heart hardened? Watch this. Having eyes, see ye not? You have eyes. How come you can't see? I'm telling you, there are still Christians today that will 100% disregard what he's saying right there. They'll disregard it. If you're talking to someone in this world and you just say something, I'm just showing you something simple, and you go, hey, look at this cup. It's white and it's got a black lid. And you grab it and you're like, you know, it's funny. There is a cup there and there is a black lid there, but I don't think I could put water in it and drink out of it. And you would be like, what do you mean, bro? Like, if I take the lid off, you can put water in there. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but with that lid on, man, it's just hard to believe I can really put water in that. It's something that small to Jesus. That's how small that is. Like, it's like they understand what you're saying, but if Jesus don't take the lid off, then they just don't see how they can pour water in it. So then I'm like, okay. And I take the lid off and they're like, oh, wow, there's an opening in there. Like, that's how crazy the flesh is regarding God's word. It's like again, like a child, you have to hold them by the hand every little step of the way. And they understand kind of what you're saying, but like, if you don't take the lid off, I just don't see. I just don't see how you're going to be able to pour water in there, Lord. And he's like, what are you talking about, bro? Look, wow. Do it again. Like it's that kind of crazy to him when he says things like, you have eyes, but you can't see. But he's doing it for them. He's trying to show them those eyes that you have is not the one you use to see. And he says, he goes, you have eyes, but you see not. You have ears, but you hear not. He's just trying to tell them, guys, those eyes and those ears are not the one you use. That's not the ones you use. Wow, you have eyes, but you don't see. You have ears, but you don't hear. And he says, and do you not remember? He's like, golly, do y'all even have a memory? Like you have a brain, but yet you remember not. He says, when I break the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? How is it that they were so quickly? Why was it so easy for them to answer this question?
Because it was a physical counting game.
Yeah. So physically, there were 12 baskets. But let me ask you this. Why did Jesus go back to that? Why did he go back to that right there? You know what people would say? They'd say, oh, because it was a miracle. No. Why did he go back to the 12 baskets? It wasn't just because it was a miracle. And
because of what it symbolized?
It says, and when the 7 among the 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took you up? And they said 7. And it says, and he said unto them, how is it that ye do not understand? You know what a convert pastor, you know how a lot of them would use this is, I'm a God of miracles. That's what they would turn this into. I'm a God of miracles. And now we go back to questioning, miracles in my life, because the pastor missed it. Jesus didn't bring this up to talk about the miraculous feeding. That's part of it. That's not why he brought. That's not. Listen,
it'd be like, there's 12. There's always more than enough of my miraculous power. Don't you guys see that God never runs out of miracles?
God doesn't run out. He's got the power to pay. God will do anything you ask in his name, he will do. That's not what Jesus is pointing out. That's not what he's pointing out. I'm sorry. Okay. You know who says that's what he's pointing out? The ones that have eyes but see not. The ones that have ears and hear not. That's what they're pointing out. They didn't forget the miracle. Did they forget the miracle? Or who answered his question? Wasn't it the disciples that answered his question?
Yes.
Okay, so did they forget about the miracle? No. And they go, God had to remind them. No, they knew what happened. They just didn't understand what it meant. They didn't get it. So he brings it back up to them both, the 12 and the 7. He brings it up. And he says, and when the 7, all right, 21, he said to them, how is it that ye do not understand? How is it ye do not understand? And he cometh to Bathsheba. What did we just get through talking about? So now they're coming to Bathsheba. What did the Bible just get through talking about?
Context? Talking about the 12 baskets, how you have eyes but see not, have ears but hear not. Have you forgotten?
In context, bro. What is the context of what we just read. Don't tell me the whole story. What is the context? What's the whole point of what we just read from?
You're not seeing in the spirit.
The context is you have eyes, but you see not. Okay? That's the context. You don't want to say you're not seeing in the spirit. You just don't want to say that. You just want to repeat what's there. We know what he means. We understand that. But you don't want to say it that way. The context is he's telling them you have eyes, but you see not. That's the context, just to keep it simple. So right after this, it says, and he cometh to Bathsheba, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up. Let me go to the Amplified says, do you see anything? This is what I'm focused on right now. It ain't going to be the entirety, but it's very important. Because remember, I am talking about your testimony. That's what I'm talking about. People hate me for this. I had a church tell me, please don't come back. please don't come back. Even though several months later they asked me to come back. But
I'm like, shut your doors. You're not a church.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of people that they'll get mad because their whole everything about God, like, right, their whole everything is about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, testimony night. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Before you know it, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll talk about something different. But every day after that, testimony, I'm here, testimony night, testimony night, testimony. Get your popcorn ready. We're going to hear another sad son of a gun story. Shut the heck up, bro, with this trash. It's straight garbage. Straight garbage, bro. I don't have to. What do I got to come to Christ for to hear a sad story? What the heck? No, it's what God brought me out of. Boy, how you can twist. How Satan is so good at twisting stuff. I can laugh about this all day. All day long, I can laugh. Don't tell me your testimony. Don't tell me your horror story, because me and you going to have to talk. We're going to have a serious talk. Who taught you that this is a testimony? Who would you learn? Oh, brother, the verse right here. You better not. You better not take me to a verse. We're going to go through there. We're going to go through there 100%. So he talks about you have eyes, you don't see, you have ears, you don't hear. And then now it's going to a part where he's going to heal a man's eyes. He's going to heal a man's eyes right here. And he says he saw aught. So studying that in the Greek, there's a few ways that I remember it. Can you see, or tell me what you see? Or the Amplified says, do you see anything? It's not just do you see anything, it's can you see? Do you see anything? I don't know how many different ways I could put this, but he's basically asking the man, can you see? And if you can, what do you see? But the way it says it again in Amplified, do you see anything? He asks him. Okay. Do you see aught? And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. Is what he says. So the Bible tells us that when Solomon prayed for wisdom, it tells us that people came from all over the world to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that the first thing that's on the list that Solomon talked about was trees. And it talks about the beasts of the field and all these other things, which we can get into all that. But it's just so funny. Out of all the wisdom that God gave, listen, this wisdom came from heaven. I really don't think people are grasping this very important concept that when you get the wisdom of God, the sight of God, when you become descaled, my friend, you will start talking about trees. So now ask yourself, How many churches have you been? For some reason, they don't have that wisdom, because if they did, they'd be talking about trees like Solomon does. Who wrote the first 5 books of the Bible? Moses. What's the first thing?
Unknown.
After
about the trees
after he talks about creation, what is the biggest story that Moses writes down in the Bible?
Trees,
but
the
what's
garden.
The garden, bro. It's the biggest story. It's the biggest story in the Bible. I don't care who you are. You're a liar. If you say that the story of the Garden of Eden is not top tier story out of the entire Bible, you are a liar. But do you know why a lot of pastors don't talk about that story a lot? Do you know why? Anybody?
Because they think they already know everything in it. The Disney story.
Yeah. Because they think it's the easiest one. No. It's the most complex. You know how you can confirm if it's the most complex? You know how you confirm that that's the most, because the wisdom to write that down came from God. That's why. The wisdom of that story. Listen, was Moses there when that happened? Was Moses there watching Adam and Eve when it happened?
No.
No.
So where did Moses get the idea that to write this down? Where'd he get it from? Where'd he get this idea? God. So where does God show him trees? Where?
Mara.
Can you bring up Dre?
Oh, Dre's here. Yeah.
Mara and the bitter water.
Yeah. So the bitter water. He shows Moses a tree, but the first time that he meets God, it's in a form of a bush that's on fire. So God was showing Moses trees, and Moses was taking serious what God was showing. You know who doesn't take any of these trees serious? Converted Christians. They don't take any of the trees serious. They don't. They don't think it's. They don't think it's. Huh?
Through the trees. He was saved through the reeds, the trees.
Yeah, the reeds, right? The Reed Sea. Right? So Moses was pulled out of the water, the Reed Sea, and God took him back to the Reed Sea. He was taken out of the Reed Sea, and he went back to the Reed Sea. When you go study the Red Sea, when you go study it, it literally means reeds, seed of weeds. I mean, the sea of reeds, sorry. The sea of reeds. He was taken out of reeds, and God took him back to reeds. Why? He came from a river. He came from water. That's where Moses came from. And then God took him back to this water. He took him back where he came from, just like the Bible tells us. But it's very important. So he says, tell me what you see, or do you see anything? And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. And for so many years, pastors have been using this to teach people that see, even Jesus. So watch this. This is their favorite part right here. These liars. This is their favorite part right here. I see trees as well. It says, after that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up, and he saw, and I'm sorry, he made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to any in the town. And Jesus went out and his disciples into the towns of Caesarea Philippi. And by the way, he asked his disciples, saying unto them, whom do men say that I am? So when it says that he saw clearly as every man, they're interpreting this as for a man to be healed. So when people come and say, how come I'm not healed? They go, look, Jesus had to pray twice. How is that not a contradiction to what Jesus says? Listen, Jesus, his disciples could not heal a child, right? Because he throws himself in the fire and he vomits and he acts crazy and all this. And he says, your disciples couldn't heal him. Well, why would this man trust Jesus? Look, sometimes it don't work for Jesus then. Yeah, but overall it did, though. It did work. How come? Let me ask you this. How many tries did it take Jesus to heal this kid? How many tries? Huh?
Once.
So sometimes God misses it. How in the world do you interpret that like that? You know how?
Even I was gonna say, even in the question, man, he asked, he said, "Do you see anything?" Did Jesus really need to ask him if he see anything?
Well, yeah, you have to ask. You have to ask. Jesus has to
Well,
ask. Do you?
I'm just saying, like,
No. I
those
know.
of us who are saved.
Yeah. No, I know. But I'm saying he does ask. Hey, do you see anything? Because you could say, "No, man, I don't see nothing." Oh, okay. But he wanted him to testify what he saw. Do you understand? It was important. He opened his eyes exactly. He intended to open his eyes, bro. Not the other way around. He had to do it again. Are you listening to what you're saying? God failed. Well, he was in a man's body, bro. Are you not listening to what you're saying? You're not listening to what you're saying. You either believe this is God or you don't believe this is God. You can't say, I believe it's God, but he came in the likeness of man and he failed. He see, you're not healed because God's got to pray for you. No, you go sit down. Whoever you are, go sit down somewhere, bro. I believe you read the Bible. I believe you have a lot of it memorized, but the reason that you went to, he had to pray for him again is because the wisdom of heaven that Solomon had, the wisdom of heaven that was given to Moses through what God showed him, the trees, that wisdom comes from above. And it's a further understanding. You're still on milk. You are still on milk. The wisdom that God has given you, you are limiting his wisdom. You are limiting him. It's your fault that you don't see what Jesus is doing on purpose. He's doing these things on purpose. He says, what do you see? I see man walking as trees. When you become descaled, the very first thing that you start seeing in God's word are trees. That's the first thing you start seeing. I'm not talking about salvation. People will turn this into a salvific issue and say, oh, you're saying I'm not saved, bro? No, baby. You're saved, okay? That's not the discussion anymore. You're saved. The question is why? Why are you limiting God in your understanding? That's my question. Because it's not his fault. When the disciples could not heal the child, did Jesus take the fault? Did he take the blame and say, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I didn't explain it right? Does anybody remember what happens? Does anybody remember what happens?
Oh, wicked and perverse generation, how much longer must I be with you?
Yeah, so if the disciples couldn't heal the sick child, why would he call them perverts? Clearly, he's not taking the blame. He said, it's your fault. It's your fault. Guess what? Today, it's your fault, my friend. Your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You are holding him back. You are, not anybody else. You are holding him back from understanding what is going on in the Bible in its entirety. It's you. You're holding him back. Okay?
You have a couple in the elevator truck.
All right. Oh, let's see. Mumu. What's up, Mumu?
FYI, I was
Mumu, it's Mumu.
Mumu, what's up?
Lord have blessed. Lord have blessing in all cause and adaptation. but only the how gives you a rebirth. Only
Hold on a
the
second.
how.
Moo, hold on a second. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Well, I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Where
I
you
can hear
where
you
you
loud
from?
and
Where
clear.
you from?
Can you hear me?
Where you from, man?
Where
are you from?
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, where
Can
you
you hear
from?
me?
Where are you from?
America.
All right, awesome. Are you a Christian?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Honestly.
All right, so what brings you up to the live?
Yeah, I could be
up?
black, white, gray.
What brings you up? What brings you up, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, your question or your thesis
What was my question?
on love.
What was my question?
Well, I don't. Fuck your question. Your thesis on love.
Yeah, all right.
Have a good one. What were you saying, Ray?
You know, it's funny because the first time I heard that whole like Jesus prayed twice, it's okay to pray twice. I was hanging out with Todd White, and that's one of the things that he teaches his people. It's like, you know, Jesus had to pray twice. We're sinners. We fall short. So imagine sometimes we got to pray 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times. I was like that.
Yeah. Who's Todd White? That name sounds familiar.
Popular evangelist
with the dreads.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, right. So the discussion is not whether you should pray once or twice or anything like that. I understand why people will do that. I get that. But what I'm saying is when they use this right here, though, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that Jesus couldn't even do it. That's a lie.
Yeah,
to say that Jesus couldn't do it is a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie, bro. It's 100% a lie. There is no denouncing this tree thing in the Bible. There's no denouncing. It shows up everywhere. It's all over the place. And it just so happens that everybody came around the world to hear the wisdom that Solomon had. And a lot of people go back to this world. They go back to this world. It's like if you were to ask one of these people, what would you ask God, right? If Christ came up to you and said, hey, I know you have questions, ask away. If the first thing you start doing is asking questions about this world, my friend, you are kicked out of the Christian community. Lord, forgive me. This person does not represent us in its entirety. We will send a earthly ambassador, Lord, to you, who's going to ask questions from wisdom, so we can have more understanding in your world, Lord, not here. Now, again, Jesus told the disciples, because they're asking about heaven, and he says, well, you don't even understand the things I'm trying to tell you here, and you're asking questions about heaven. And somebody would bring that up and say, well, I thought the conversation, you didn't even understand the things I had. Well, they do now. Do you understand? They do now. They have the Spirit now. They have the Spirit now. Now you can ask things about heaven. But there are people that are still going to be stuck in just trying to learn things in this world. That's all they're going to be stuck trying to learn. This is a fallen world. It's not your world. Why would you ask the creator of the unfallen world? Why would you ask him about the fallen world? That there's something wrong with your viewpoint. It still ain't clicking. You want to be asking him questions that is not of the fallen world, but of his world, of our world, right? We're in this world, but we're not of this world. So the question would be, let's see, who's the creator? All right, Bobby, we'll do it, Bobby. Bobby, is this a fallen world? Do we live in a fallen world, Bobby? Do we live in a fallen world? Bobby, do we live in a fallen world? It's a yes or no question. Do we live in a fallen? Do we live in a fallen world? Okay, Bobby, since you don't want to answer, I'm going to answer for you because your question said, who's the creator of fallen world? Yes. Okay, so if we live in a fallen, was it corrupted? When God finished making the world, was it already corrupted? He made it corrupt? Bobby? Is that true? Did he make a corrupt world? Bobby. You got to think about that one or what? Did God make the world corrupt? Bobby. All right, you don't want to answer? Let's see. Smiles, God is on this world. Okay, so I'm not really sure what you're trying to say, but I'll answer it for you, Bobby. Okay, God did not make a fallen world. This world is fallen, my friend. So when you sit up here, who's the creator, yo? Who's the creator? Obviously, God is the creator, but he ain't the creator of the fallen world, yo. Huh? Still ain't figured that out, Bobby.
Why are you picking on Bobby Boucher?
Well, because Bobby got some. I don't understand what he's getting at. Apparently, he don't know.
Bobby, I told you to lay off the propane, boy.
Yeah.
Bobby.
God did not create this fallen world. When you say who is the creator, you need to ask yourself, what did he create? Did he create?
You got a couple people in the book that want to come up, bro. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen him. It's all good. Let's see. Creator. Let's see. Creator. What's up, creator? Creator, what's on your mind?
Hey. What's up, D-Scal?
What's up, man? What's on your mind, dude?
He call me Jesus.
Do what?
My name Jesus. You know, TikTok just put creator in front of my name, I guess, because I could leave the front of the name blank. But I think they also know that the creator is my father, the most high type stuff, you know? How you guys doing today?
Awesome. What's on your mind, man?
Nothing. Bobby has something on the mind, and he just apparently prayed to me by mistake, and that's how I got here. That's why he's not here.
Oh, so what's on your mind? Well, I want to know what's on your mind, though. What's on your mind?
Whatever's on your mind.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. Tell me what's on. Tell me what's. Hold on a second. What's on my mind? What's on my mind?
Whatever's on my mind.
All right.
So you guys really think that I waited 2,000 years for you to ask me a question like that?
Yep, you sure did.
Guys, open up.
Please try. Please.
Oh, yeah,
what, Dre? Go ahead.
Creator, I got a question, man. Since you're Jesus, can you tell me where the Urim and Thummim came from? Who created it? Out of what material? What is the Urim and Thummim made out of?
The what?
Urim and Thummim.
First of all, you're not even pronouncing it right.
Oh, okay. Pronounce it right for us.
I don't have to. You guys do.
Okay. All right.
Team Jesus, get out of here.
Man, we've had 2 candidates for your song, Dre. Let's hear it.
Hey, man, Jesus is rude.
Yeah. What the heck are we talking about? All right.
I think it's that hour where all the trolls come.
That's all right. That's all right, man.
They're coming out of the woodwork today. Oh my gosh, more than I've seen in a year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. There ain't nobody in there anymore. All right, so just get back to what we're talking about. Let me see. Okay, so Jesus heals this man's eyes, and he says, "What do you see, or can you see?" And he said, "I see man walking around his trees." I'm going to quote it the way exactly how it says it. He says, "What do you see?" He says, "And he looked up and said, I see man as trees walking." That's what he says. And again, I'm pointing this out because the Bible is full of this idea that when you have the wisdom of God, you will come, you 100% will come to the determination that Jesus is the tree of life. And you will start seeing man as trees, my friend. You will 100%. Once you can see man as branches, okay, part of a tree, once you can see that, that is when you know that you yourself is a tree. And that is when you'll know that when Moses wrote the story of the Garden of Eden, he wasn't writing it like a little a Disney World fiction story just so we can understand like what kind of things happen. Absolutely not. Moses was a fallen man that lived in this world, and he wrote about a world that he was part of, but yet he was here. You understand what I'm saying? He wrote about God's world, but yet he's a fallen man. So if he's writing about God's world, was he just trying to give you an idea of why the world fell, or was he just writing a story exactly what happened the way Jesus would explain it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Are you saying that Moses had like a John type of vision in Revelation, like he was there and saw it?
No, not like that. No, God showed him trees constantly. That's what he showed him. He showed him trees constantly on purpose. That's what he wanted Moses to do is he wanted Moses to write the story the way God was showing him how to write it. So he constantly showed Moses trees on purpose. He wasn't just, oh my God, Moses, okay, the water is sour. Put that tree in there. Like if, again, when the Bible says that God's words don't come back to him void, they don't, it's not, every time God shows something, there's an eternal meaning behind it. Every time. It's not just, wow, miracle happened. Okay, bitter water made sweet. No. No, he showed Moses there's a tree that brings things to life. He needed Moses to see this. So he was using trees in this world to show him there's trees that bring things to life. There's a tree that, quote unquote, is on fire and a voice comes out of it. So he may not fully understand everything that's happening in God's world, but God showed him what he needed to know. So when he wrote this story down, he's only using what God is showing him to use. That's all he's using. So he has to use the terminology that God is showing him. So in the garden, there are many trees. There are many trees in the garden. He told Adam, you can eat from all the trees. So let me ask y'all this. It is true that all men are trees. Is it true that God could tell you, okay, you're in a fallen world, and from all the trees you may freely eat, but make sure you eat from the tree of life? Is that true? Would it be true if God was to speak to you that way?
Nah.
No, it's not true. We're not all trees.
Well, we are all trees.
We're all trees.
Eating from a fallen world is crazy.
No, I'm saying we're in a fallen world, but is the tree of life in this world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In us?
Oh.
Right. So the tree of life is here then in this world.
Right.
In us.
Oh, yeah.
And so is there another tree that's here that we're not supposed to eat from?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And the Bible calls this tree a bunch of other names. So instead of this tree being a tree, what else is this tree called? According to the Bible. Nobody? Nobody can think of one more thing.
Which one did you say?
What do you mean, which one?
Which tree did you?
No. I didn't give it. Whoa. I didn't give it a name. Listen, I don't have to give it a name. I don't want to call it the tree of the knowledge. I don't even got to call it that. What else? Listen, there's a tree of life here in this world, for God's sakes. What else is this other name of this tree? If people are trees, and he's telling us not to eat of it, what else does the Bible call this that we don't eat of?
Swine.
Swine. Yes. Swine. In the Old Testament, it wasn't just trees. In the Old Testament, it wasn't just called trees that we don't eat from. It's called swine. We don't eat from them either. Do y'all remember why? God gave a reason. The reason you don't eat from swine, and it tells us, Does anybody remember? Bobby, no, not pork. Not pork, Bobby. Pork is a pig. Talking about swine. Bobby, you're thinking too much in this world, Bobby. We're not talking about bacon. Huh?
He got the answer.
Who?
CJ was about to get the answer.
Oh.
Hey, CJ.
They don't chew the cud.
Yeah. So in the Old Testament, God doesn't just say not to eat an animal. You hear these people that they're all about the law, right? The law. Everything's about the law. And it's funny, a lot of times I'll ask them, hey, how come we can't eat swine? Oh, it's because it's the dirtiest animal in the world. No, bro, no. If you were so good on knowing your, the laws of God, if you were so good, why is it that they don't give this answer? How come they don't say, oh, because it doesn't chew the cud? Tell the truth. Has anybody ever heard them tell you that's the reason?
Nope.
Dre? Dre's pleading the fifth. He's here, but he's not here. He has eyes, but he sees not. He has ears, but he hears not. Dre, you here?
We can't talk.
Y'all don't let me forget to ask him this. And I'm telling you right now, his answer is going to be no. 99.9%. His answer is going to be no. So you have these people, they're constantly telling you what you're not supposed to eat. They're unclean. They're unclean. It says right here, don't eat them. It's unclean. How come 99.9% of any of these people, I don't care what they claim to believe. I don't care if they're saying they're a Jew or whatever, a black Hebrew Israelite, freaking any of these law keepers. How come they don't ever tell you why? Yeah, Bueller. How come they don't tell you why? And they don't know what it means. They don't know what it means. That's why.
They just said God commanded.
That's right. God
said
said they're nasty. It's gross. It's nasty. Listen. Boy, they can talk to you about the pig all day, but they can't talk to you about the swine. Listen, you have the lamb, you have the lion. You have the lamb, you have the lion. You have the Son of Man, you have the Son of God. You should be able to talk about each one of those names for a long time, each one of them. Just like the swine and the pig. It's not the same thing. And people tell you, yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, bro. No, it's not. 100% no, it's not. But the reason they don't talk about why you're not supposed to eat it is because they don't understand. Now, someone that is very familiar with Scripture, and I'm not talking about spiritual understanding, I'm saying that they literally have like a lot of the black letters on the white page, they have it memorized. They have it memorized. So they'll say, well, it says because it don't chew the cud. So they have that part memorized. I said, okay, so what does that mean? Well, again, and they're going to go back to the clean thing. That's what they're going to go back to. They're going to say, oh, well, chewing the cud. I mean, that's healthy for an animal like a cow. It chews the cud. But see, a swine, it eats slop and doo-doo. It's nasty. Therefore, the meat is nasty. They're missing the point. God is not trying to tell you not to eat the swine because it eats a bunch of crap in the sense of just animals. No, because the cud in the Bible is the word. So the reason we don't eat from swine is because they don't chew the cud. You understand? They don't meditate on the word. A swine is not a pig. A swine is a human, a person. That's what a swine is. A swine is a person that doesn't chew the cud, the word of God. It doesn't chew the word. So you don't eat from them. You understand? You don't eat from them. So an Islamic believer will tell you that they stopped eating pork 30 years ago. But they regurgitate, they swallow, they eat the crap that a person that doesn't believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, they listen to their crap all day long. They listen to their crap all day long. They eat of these people. And if they were to ask the person, hey, do you believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ? No, I don't. And they go, feed me, Seymour. Oh, man. So the person that they eat from doesn't believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. Therefore, they don't chew the cud. They're not eating the cud. The cud is the word. But a person who believes in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, they give the cud to eat to other people. They give the cud to eat. Meaning you're not a swine. A person that believes in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, those people are not swine in this world. They are a tree and they are a swine because they're seed of their kind. So there's trees of life that walk around in this world. Again, it's still one tree. Then there is another tree that's corrupted and doesn't give good fruit. And if you this tree is not good for food. And if you eat of it, it will kill you. Huh. Man, that wind is coming in there strong. All right. So there is a small part of what we're actually talking about, because we are talking about John 15. Oh, man, I didn't even. It'll be all right. Because we are talking about John 15. Hey, anybody got Dre? You there? You there yet? Or you still ain't here?
I'm here.
No, I said Dre.
Yeah, Dre's here.
No answers for.
No, Dre's not here because he's not talking. What are you talking about? He's not here.
Bill is your interpreter. Oh, I thought you meant on the board.
That's all right.
Somebody's trying to come up.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. It's that same nut job. No offense.
I didn't know who he was. That's why.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. Does anybody got anything before I continue? I'm going to continue through John 15. I'm going to get back, read little 18 through 20 real quick. If y'all don't have anything, I'm just gonna hop right on in there. Okay. So all right, John 15, 18.
I had a small question, but I'll wait until.
No, go ahead. No. What's up?
It was about Sodom and Gomorrah. You had brought that up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, I had two questions. As far as how do I put it? I'm trying to figure out how to put it in question form. Well, I guess I could just say, why did he offer his daughters, over the angels? But that might take a little second. That's why I said, probably wait.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so you have these men, right, in the city, and they're wanting the angels that went into their house, right? Right. And it says that the angels struck them with blindness. They become blind at this door. And it says that they went around and they couldn't find the door. They couldn't find their way. And they're stricken with this blindness. And and the man in the house is like, hey, look, I'll give you my daughters. You don't have to do this. This defilement that you're trying to do. I'll give you my daughter. Well, there's a story in the Old Testament. And there's a man that he basically makes a vow to God, and he said, the next thing I see, he said, you know, I'm going to offer it to you. And the next thing he saw was his daughter. And so he has to offer it because he made a vow to God. And he knew that if he was to go against what he said, I mean, obviously things were not going to be good for him. So in this story, this man has to, quote unquote, sacrifice, quote unquote, offer his daughter to God, because that's the vow that he made, and he does. And he wasn't happy about it, but it's because he made a vow. Okay, so there's a lot of times you see like this kind of vow taken, like I'll put my family, you know, I'll offer my family, I'll offer whatever I got to offer, like to, you know, make things right between me and God. You kind of see this a few times in the Old Testament, and here they wanted to defile, uh, you know, the two angels that were inside this house. Well, I won't go through the whole thing, but you'll understand what I'm saying when we do it this way. So if you pay attention, this house becomes a sanctuary. It becomes a sanctuary to Lot and his family. Now the whole world is corrupt. The whole world, again, in their world, everybody is corrupt. And it says that they came to the door. It says they came to the door and was asking about the men that were inside this house. So these people were not thinking about anything else. They were only thinking about what would please them in this world right here. And so they said, hey, those men that are in there, and if you pay attention to the story, it's like, right, because again, you see this very like sexual, immoral type of behavior with these people's minds. You could tell it's like they've had their way with each other so many times, they're bored. So they see two men that no one recognizes, and the first thing that pops in their head is, you know, to feed their sexual desire with fresh meat or strange meat. And I'll use it that way because there's two strangers in the Bible. There's two. There's people that are strangers to God, and then there's people that are strangers to the fallen. There's two strangers. But they go into this house, Lot and his family's in this house. So this house literally becomes a sanctuary. It becomes what you can consider it, or for a very short period of time, the place to go for salvation. But this door, this gate that they're at, no one is coming to this place. They're not coming to this place to be saved from anything. They're coming to this place to continue to feed their flesh. There's a lot of Christians that do this too. They come to God, and then they pray to him for things regarding this world. They don't see him as a sanctuary or for salvation. They see him as a genie, and everything's about this world to them. So John 15, was it verse 8? No, sorry. Verse 7. So John 15:7, if ye abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask what ye will. See, you shall ask what you will. You can ask anything from God, they'll say. But not understanding that Jesus's point here in 15 is he's talking about his world. That's what he's talking about. But people will take this verse because it says you can ask anything, or I'm sorry. Where's it at? 7. Ye shall, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. You shall ask what you will. They'll say you can ask anything, but he's talking to them as a branch. And the only thing a branch asks the main vine to give it is nutrients, water, food source. That's it. That's the only thing it's asking from it. And then naturally it produces fruit. But people don't ask God for wisdom or the living water to make more disciples. The majority of converted Christians today, that's not their focus. Their focus is the things in this world, that they pray for things in this world. So it's really weird that these that these people of this fallen world go to this house and they're asking, bring those men out. And the man and the guy said, Lot says, hey, I'll give you my daughters. So how come the daughters wouldn't feed what they wanted? Breezy?
How come you said how feed what they wanted?
Yeah. How come that didn't satisfy them, that the daughters?
Because it was strange.
Well, no,
That's
the
something
men were strange too. So I'm gonna say that the daughters, and you know, again, look, let's go real quick and look what Lot says. Let's go real quick, just real quick.
Yeah.
Somebody pull up the story.
It's in Genesis 19 for anybody.
Yeah, go there real quick, and let's get straight to that part, straight to the door where Lot is like, hey, I'll give you my daughter. Let's just go straight there. And look,
I think it starts at verse 3.
and it's going to be hard.
Verse
This is
3?
going to
Okay.
this is going to be hard for some people to hear, but I don't know how you ain't not you, Breezy, but anyone. I'm not sure how you haven't figured this out yet.
Yeah. Okay, Genesis chapter 19, verse 3 says, and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house. And he had made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray to you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. Sorry.
Is that it?
Okay, verse 12. It says,
Go ahead.
yeah, this is when they blinded him. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, just keep going. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou had here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord.
All right, right there. All right. So they get to the point where like, hey guys, we're about to destroy this place, right? But when it says that they hit them with blindness, first of all, how far away do you think they are from the door, bro? Where the angel can just reach out, grab them, and put them back in there? You think he was like freaking Stretch Armstrong? You think freaking Lot's like a mile and he's like, Nyah! And they grab him and suck him all the way back? How far do you think these people are from the door?
They're right outside.
Bro, they can't be but a couple feet, bro. So you're telling me when they became blind, they couldn't find the door again? Listen. Listen. In real life, they were blind, and in real life, they couldn't find the door again. But what this is trying to tell you is these people right here is what the Bible says a reprobate. So the door to this house right here, this house is the house that these 2 angels were told to go to. Just like Noah was told to build the ark. Everybody that wanted to be saved had to go into the ark. Noah's ark. Anyone that wanted anything to have anything to do with God, guess what? You had to partake of this ark, which means you had to be a Jew. You had to be of these people, because this ark is the thing that represented God's presence.
Right.
So this house 100% represented the same thing: a sanctuary, a safe place. What was the name of the lady that put the scarlet thread outside her window?
Rahab.
Fruit.
Rahab. Rahab. Rahab.
Yeah.
Rahab's house represented the sanctuary. That's what it represented.
Yep.
So when Lot said, "I have two daughters here that have known no man," I hate to say it, but Lot was wrong. See, we hear these people say things in the story and we believe them. And the reason why you believe them is because you're not paying attention to the rest of the Bible. You're compartmentalizing. Again, when Delilah said to Samson, "You have lied to me these 3 times," 99% of converted Christians will tell you that Samson lied. But he didn't. He didn't lie. He told her the truth. She just didn't understand what he was saying. I got several in my head. Has anybody got another one?
Oh, Trot, for that, it's like you can even know because the Lot tries to go get the daughter's husbands, doesn't he?
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, hold on. I don't want to talk about the story a lot right now. I'm talking about where else in the Bible do we see someone saying something and it sounds like they're lying? I got several. Nobody has one?
Well, I don't know about lying,
the last
Job.
week, Jacob and Esau. We saw that.
The people that say Lord, Lord.
Jacob
I'm
and
talking about
Esau,
Old
the one
Testament. I'm talking about Old Testament, guys. Old Testament.
Jacob, Esau, when he put on the garment. You said we did that last week or the week before that.
Okay, what about it?
About her, he wasn't lying. He put on the garment. He wasn't actually lying.
Right. But remember, he's called surplanter. He's called all these things: thief, liar. He's called a bad thing. But when he goes before the Father, he's not lying about what he's saying. I am your firstborn. I am this. And you're like, what do you mean? Yeah, he is. He's lying. And again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That's why all this stuff is missed, is because we're compartmentalizing each story, and you see a lie and you're not looking at the Bible in its entirety. The Bible in its entirety tells us that we have to put on Christ, that we have to put on the firstborn. And that's exactly what he did. And when he did that, he did not become Esau himself, but he became the firstborn. That's what he became. So he's not lying. Now, again, in the story, because Jacob did receive the inheritance, he did take the land from his brother. These are real brothers. There's going to be a family feud, period. But for us today, so we can see what God is telling us, Jacob wasn't lying. So it's kind of like if you stand someone that's very legalistic, they're going to say that when you go to the Father and you tell the Father, I come in the name of your Son, and because of that, I'm perfect through your Son. A lawkeeper or legalist, or people who claim that they keep the law, they'll call you a liar right there in front of God, because they don't see what you're covered by. All they see is you. So they're like, nah, bro, you're going straight to hell. I mean, this is the verbiage, because they don't see that we understand we are covered by him. So you sound like a liar. So if they ask you today, do you still sin? Do you still sin? It'd be like right before God is going to ask you, who are you and why do you belong in, again, I'm just putting it this way. Who are you and why do you belong in heaven? Lord, I'm your firstborn, Christ, because we're covered by him, not because you are him, right? First John 4:17 says, as he is, so are we in this world. So we are as he is because who he is, not because of who we are, because of who he is. So if you were to say, Lord, I'm your firstborn, these law keepers, they will laugh. They will start laughing. You still sin. And then you'll go into heaven. But in their head, all they hear in their head is law. You still sin. They don't understand. The same way they don't understand these scriptures. So Lot said, I have my 2 daughters here, and they know no man. They don't know a man, he said. Let me tell you something. If his 2 daughters didn't know man, that means they would have been strangers. And they would have wanted to get familiar with those strangers. As quickly as they rejected those 2 girls, they were not strangers to those men. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were not strangers. How do we know
Like,
this?
oh, we seen them.
Hold on. How do we know this? Let me see. Let me see if anybody can answer. How do we know what I'm saying is true? How do you know? Because that's not what Lot said. That's not what Lot said. Well, that's not what Delilah and Samson, they're like, Samson lied. Look, he broke free. Nah, bro, he didn't lie. He didn't lie. How do we know what I'm saying is true?
Is it because these
They
people
would have accepted.
recognize the seed of their kind?
Well, yeah, I'm saying,
They would have accepted.
oh, they 100% would have. They would have 100% said, oh, give him here. Give him here. That's one. What else? What else? Nobody knows. Another.
Pulled him back in.
What?
I was gonna say because the angels pulled him back in.
No, I said no. I'm asking, how do we know? How do we know that these 2 women were not what Lot was claiming?
Oh gosh, sorry to answer the first one.
The men would have taken them.
No, we already talked about the men would have taken them. What else?
Because they were in the house.
No. What else? No. I can't believe nobody. Lord have mercy. Nobody. Bobby, you're still here? Oh my gosh.
Somebody's in the elevator for.
All right. Does anybody know? Anybody know what I'm asking?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Could you read? Could you give
How do we know?
I've asked a question like 10 times. Are y'all not paying attention?
a broader understanding?
What do you mean? Listen.
How do we know that the 2
No, let me just say it. Let me just say it. No, let me just say it. Look, the man in Sodom and Gomorrah wanted to have sex with the angels in the house. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the man of the house, Lot, said, no, don't do that. Take my daughters. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that Lot's daughters were hoes. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So when Lot said, no, they've known no man, and y'all believe what Lot is saying, you're missing it. They've already known man. What I'm asking is, why am I saying what I'm saying? If I got to make it that clear, because I've said it 10 times in regular English, now I got to start calling these women hoes so you can understand what I'm saying. This is crazy. How do we know that these women, when Lot says they have not known man, I am saying, yes, they have. So where am I getting this from? Do I have to give you a book, chapter, and verse, or what?
Like we said before, the rejection.
No, I said we've already went over that. I said, what else? That is not all I'm using.
Yeah.
Oh, you want
They have husbands
somewhere else? Okay. You want it somewhere else?
Okay, somebody said that they're married. Okay, that's close.
Yes.
That's close. Somebody said it in the chat too. Okay, so they were married. They have known man because they're married. Okay, that's true, but that's not all I'm using. I am not just using because the man didn't take them. I'm not just using that they're married. That's not all I'm using. What else?
Because Lot was able to offer them up in the first place. I don't know.
Let me see. Natasha, let me say this quick. Natasha said they lived in the corrupt city. That's true. They did. But what else am I using?
When they went to the mountain and they went in the cave and they got the father drunk.
Yes, because it's because they raped their own dad, bro. That's why. Right? Grapes, bananas,
that's later.
Bananas and grapes and oranges. Listen, no woman that's never known a man, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You're not going to get your dad drunk and get pregnant by him on purpose. I don't care who you are. So this whole idea, because Lot said Lot said, oh, I have my daughters here. They've never known a man. What I'm telling you is Lot is lying. This is what I'm telling you. He lied. And these men of the city knew it. And I am going to go further and say, I don't believe their husbands are the only men they had relations with. I 100% believe that when he said, hey, my daughters, I believe the whole town laughed at what he just said. 100%. Not only did they just say, nah, bro, they laughed. Like, this, there ain't a man here that don't know him. We want to know those two men that are in your house. What I'm saying is 100%, I believe, 100%, I believe the only non-corrupted people, and I'm going to use the word people, okay? The only non-corrupted people in Lot's house was Lot and the two angels. The wife, Lot's wife and daughters were corrupted by this city. If you don't understand that, you are not reading the Bible enough. You're not. Because when you go look at the story of this story and God says, do not turn back, there are still converted Christians, and there are probably 20 of you, if not more in here, that still think that the reason she turned and looked back to the city, that God made her a pillar of salt because she disobeyed God and turned back and looked at the city. That's how much of a baby you still are. That is not what happened. That means you still think that the reason Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden because they disobeyed God and ate of the tree. That's it. That's all you got. When the truth is, because we're talking about John 15, the truth is Adam and Eve were kicked out because they were not fruitful. They were not fruitful and multiplied. That's the reason. Obviously, them eating of the tree killed their spirit. They became unalived. So because of that, they would not be able to be fruitful and multiply. They would not be able, guys, to be fruitful and multiply. So he kicks them out. "100%, he says, do not turn back. Do not look back at the city." And it says, go to it. Who's still there?
I'm still here.
Go to Lot turning back. Get straight to the point. I don't want to read for 10 minutes. Just get straight to that part where it says she turned back.
Genesis 19:26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Right there. And his wife looked back from behind him. When you go study that phrase, and his wife looked back, you go study that in Hebrew, and it literally means to think intensely about. It had nothing to do with her let me look. It has nothing to do with that. What does the Bible say about those that are plowing? What does it say?
Does not turn
turn back.
So does that mean if I'm plowing forward that I'm not supposed to look back? Is that what that means? Is that what that?
No, bro.
That's what God is trying to tell us. That when you're plowing, no. Okay, so spiritually, what is plowing? What is plowing spiritually?
Turning away from sin.
No, absolutely not. How in the heck is this term? You're a law keeper.
He's trolling. He's trolling. You gotta be trolling. That was a joke. That was a joke. Man.
All right, what is plowing spiritually?
Meditating on the word of God.
Well, no. Nope.
You're like, absent. No.
No.
Making disciples.
Yes, making disciples. Making disciples. Making disciples. That's what plowing. You are your brother's keeper. Plowing the field, planting seed. That means if that's your focus, nothing behind is your testimony. God, I want to tell you what God brought me out of. Get the heck out of here. You still baby? You still crying about your past? Go freaking, what did Jesus tell Peter? Do you love me? Do you love me? Oh, Lord. Man, feed my sheep. Peter, shut up. We got time for all that nonsense. Listen, as a disciple of Christ, if your flesh is so quick to get you to suck on your thumb about the things in this world, my friend, you ain't gonna be able to do it. You are not gonna be able to do it. You are still not there yet. That's horrible. I'm just being straight up. When you start understanding this, you will understand that this woman's mind was corrupted. She was corrupted just like her daughters. Not looking back has nothing to do with you turning your physical head. Has nothing to do with that. That's why the phrase in Hebrew means when she turned back, look back, it means to think until she was meditating over the city. Do you understand? Meaning it doesn't matter where she went. They could have went to China, for God's sakes. She would have started thinking, oh, the city of the people. She would have burnt up just like them. See, we hear this, well, she became a pillar of salt. That's what she became. You go study pillar of salt. It literally is talking about a vapor, a dust in the wind. I'm telling you right now, she burnt up just like they did. She became ash. She burnt up just like them, bro. All it does is prove the integrity of God. What he was destroying was the mind. Don't you understand? This goes back to the marks, guys. The mark of Christ, the mark of Satan. It's not a chip. It's not a credit card chip. I'm going to hell because I pay with. It's not what it's talking about. The right hand is servitude, who you serve. Who is your leader, your commander, your Lord? The forehead is how you think. This woman was corrupted. She was corrupted. Had nothing to do with her turning back. Had nothing to do with that. It's the way she thought. That's what he was destroying. Okay?
It's the same when Paul says burning with lust, because you're desiring, you're coveting.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Yes. Right? He told, listen,
and we know it's not physical because Abraham saw. We know it's not she like a physical thing because Abraham looked out and he saw the city.
Yeah, you can partially use that, okay? But they would say is, well, God didn't tell Abraham he couldn't look. That's how stupid this argument would get. God didn't tell Abraham. Abraham was not corrupted. Abraham was not corrupted, for God's sakes. He wouldn't have had to give him the warning. He wouldn't have had to. It was. It's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, again, when you compartmentalize the story, you're not the entirety of the Bible is being missed because you're compartmentalizing each little story. Now the whole story of the Bible is missed. The whole story is we're supposed to put on the mind of Christ. So for her to think intensely about this freaking city that God is destroying, the imagination of the people is what he was destroying. Her imagination was no different. It proved it right there. It proved it. So when the flood occurred in the Old Testament, when the flood occurred, it said, it tells us why. It tells us why the flood happened. It says, for their imagination was evil continuously. Their imagination. So is it true that God was destroying the imagination of corrupted man?
Yes.
Yes. Now here we are again with Sodom and Gomorrah. Same thing. You understand what I'm saying? How the same thing happens in the entirety of the Bible. It's not about compartmentalizing each little story. They all differ from one another. All God's children are different. It's not what's being said in the entirety. In the entirety is we are to put on the mind of Christ. Put on the mind of Christ from the very beginning. Eat of the tree of life, who is Christ. From the very beginning, this was the truth.
This is why Paul
Hold on a second. Hold on. Trump, what are you doing?
Looking for food.
Anyway.
That's why Paul says in Philippians 2 that I wish you all have the same mind as Christ.
Yes. It's all about our mind, our imagination. That's what the Bible says. The abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Lot's wife's heart was corrupted. That's why her mind went back to that forsaken place. Has nothing to do with her. They're just walking here. Let me turn. No, bro. No, I don't care if she freaking took a jet to China. She would have burnt up in the air. No matter where you go, your mind is either of Christ or it's not. That has been true from the beginning, and it's going to stay true all the way to the end. It has nothing to do with disobeying God and looking back and disobeying God and don't eat from that tree. Oh, you ate from the tree. You disobeyed God, bro. I don't know how. Listen, the focus, when Jesus came back, listen, guys, when Jesus came back, be honest, the majority of what he's talking, is he preaching the law? Is that what he's doing? He's preaching the law. That's the majority of what he was doing. What do we see him doing the majority of the time?
Making fruit and multiplying.
He's making fruit. That's what he was doing the whole time he was here. He was fruitful and multiplying. He wasn't worried about sin. He wasn't worried about Satan. It was not his focus. His focus, he did what he said, what he was told to do. Apostolio, to be sent. He was sent to do what? To become fruitful and multiply. And that's exactly what he did. That was his focus. The majority of his ministry wasn't sitting people down and going over the law. On the contrary, he sat down with people that did just that and told them, you don't understand what you're reading. Isn't that what he said? Did he come into agreement with the scribes and the Pharisees and be like, okay, guys, listen up. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not. That's not what he did. He was fruitful and he multiplied. That is what he did. Because that's what he was told to do when he got here. So being fruitful and multiplying is the good news. That now, because of Christ, you can be fruitful and multiply. Not, no. See, they couldn't do the law, okay? They couldn't do the law because they didn't have Christ. Now we have Christ. The Bible said we could do all things through Christ. See, now we do the law. No, bro, what are you talking? We're not reading the same Bible. You're reading the Bible that the scribes and the Pharisees had. I'm reading Jesus' Bible. You're reading the wrong Bible. No, listen. Christ did not enter us so we can obey God in the sense of laws. No. He entered us so we can obey God and do what Jesus was told to do. Be fruitful and multiply. So just said fruitful is obedience to God's law. That's right. Then how come y'all don't talk about it? Just? How come you don't talk about being fruitful and multiply then? Huh? You see what I'm saying? So here you go again. Oh, well, that's part of God's law. Really? I don't know. Anytime I hear one of you guys talk about God's law, it's about don't eat pork and don't do this. How come you're not telling people what they're supposed to do? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Your viewpoint is backwards. Your viewpoint is backwards. Your viewpoint is everything is about obedience. Yeah, what obedience? You hear people when they talk about the law, the obedience that they preach to people is what you need to stop doing. You need to stop doing this and stop doing that. You know what's funny? 99% of these jokers, I don't ever hear them tell people, guys, be obedient, be fruitful, and multiply. You're such a liar. I'm sorry. You're a liar. I don't believe you go around telling people you need to be fruitful and multiply. I'm sorry. No offense, but I don't believe that. I believe you tell people to stop eating pork and obey the Sabbath. That's what I believe. Okay?
Try real quick.
Yeah.
About, sorry, I tried to say this a couple times before, but when it said she turned back, it also says, but his wife looked back from behind him. So is that another indicator she's on the curse side?
Yeah. I don't want to get into all that right now. I just wanted to get to the point that to think intensely about is what she did. Okay. So what do you say, Just? Have you ever heard me? Just, I don't even know who you are. Okay. But I promise you right now, the majority of what you talk about, I go look at every film you've ever created. Over 80% of what you're talking about is the normal legalistic view. Obey, but how? Don't break the Sabbath. Don't eat pork. That's the majority of what you talk about. I don't. No offense. If you're going to sit here and tell me that 80% of what you talk about is telling people to be fruitful and multiply, right now I'm going to tell you I don't believe that one bit. Not one bit. If you say, well, it's 5%, my friend, then it's 5%. And you're only adding that in there because it's in the Bible. But the majority of what we're supposed to do is to follow Christ in the sense of being fruitful and multiply. And sin is not the answer. Okay? Yeah, no offense, Just. I'm just telling you right now, that's very hard to believe if you're going to sit here, because if 80% of what you talk about is telling people to be fruitful and multiply, the legalistic side would be gone by now. But it's not, clearly, because you keep using the word obedience. Obedience. You, my friend, are 100% missing the entirety of what I'm saying. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm telling you that's you still got it flipped. You got it flipped. Okay, so Breezy wanted to ask about the Lot's daughters. Breezy, you good?
I'm good.
Huh? I can't hear him.
He's got one bar, bro.
I said, yeah, I'm good. I got back connection.
Okay. All right. So real quick, let me go over at least 18 through 20 real quick, and I'll start 21. Okay, so this is John 15, because remember, we are talking about John 15. Everything comes back to John 15. John 15 goes straight to the garden, and it goes all the way back to John 15, and it goes all the way back to the book of Revelation. John 15 is in the entire Bible. So it says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. The reason the world hated Jesus is not because he was breaking laws. It's because he was fruitful and he multiplied. That's the reason. That's the 100% reason, because he was doing what his father told him to do. If it was all about not breaking the law, then everybody would have hated each other because everybody was obedient to God's law. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Jesus didn't come here so he can be obedient to the law that the schoolmaster. Why would God have to listen to the schoolmaster? That's so dumb. So Jesus came so he can obey the schoolmaster. That's stupid. No. He's the fulfillment of the law. Be ye fruitful and multiply is a huge part of what God is commanding people to do. Be fruitful and multiply. Just, are you telling people to stop following? Stop following who? I ain't putting up with that crap, bro. You want to listen, you can listen, but don't do that. Heck no. I told you what I thought about the comments you made. It ain't nothing personal, man. Don't take it personal. Clearly you are. Don't do that, bro. You're going to act like that. How about you just kick rocks? Don't be coming in here and don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Come on, man. Get the heck out of here with that crap, dude. Wow, bro. Bro, stop turning back. Stop turning back, bro. Okay, plow forward. Why are you turning back? Come on, man. Jeez Christ. And you're obeying the law? You just broke the law right there. What the heck? You just broke the law right there, bro. My Lord have mercy. I swear. What I'm talking about? Law keeper hypocrites. Man, ain't nothing personal, but Lord have mercy, man. Jeez.
Somebody had a question about Judges 19. That was a little further.
Somebody who asked? No, it's fine. Who asked? Who was it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
If you asked about Judges 19, can you put it's me, or can you put if you're still here? I need to know if you're still here.
Yeah, I can't go that far back. It's not letting me go all the way back.
I don't think they're here. It's all love. Man, you're going to have to show me. You're going to have to show me how you telling someone to stop following. It sounds like you're saying, don't follow this guy. Go study your Bible. I mean, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know how you're going to convince me that's love. I don't know what Bible you're reading love out of, brother. That's
it was not Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha, you still here?
Yeah, she said on Judges 19:22. Can you also go over Judges 19:22?
19:22. Let's see.
Let's see if she's here.
Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, men of the city, certain sons, beset the house round about, and beat the door, and spake to the master, bring forth the man that came into my house. And the man, the master of the house, went unto them. Let's say, behold, here's my man concubine. Oh yeah, we've went over this before. The concubine that they chopped up or whatever. Ain't that what that is? Hold on, let me go back and make sure.
Natasha, I see that you're still here. If you're here, put a 1 on the chat. Or just say you're here.
I think she might still be here. Yeah, so this is the one where they take the man's concubine and he chops her up and sends them. Remember? Yeah, I've talked about this a few times. Guys, give me a second. I'll be right back. Ooh. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're just gonna go back to John 15. I guess that she's not here, right?
She didn't reply.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe she can't. It's all right. Well, we've talked about that. I've talked about it plenty of times. All right, so let's go back to let's see, 18. All right, yeah. So if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but have chosen you, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember, the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. He says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. So what's the reason that people get persecuted in Jesus' name? What's the reason? Why do people get persecuted in Jesus' name?
So they rejected him.
Making fruit, for being fruitful.
Well, yeah, but he look, okay, I'll read it again.
The rejection of him.
No.
The rejection
No.
of who he is?
No. He says it right here. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake. So they hate you for Jesus' name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. So why do believers in Christ get persecuted because of Christ?
They don't know God.
Right, because they don't know the Father who sent him. That's the reason. Meditate on that if you have to. Listen very clearly. The reason that Christians get persecuted in Jesus' name is because they don't know the Father. That's why. Because they don't know the Father. And this is not a Trinity and oneness argument. So stupid. People use this right here. See, because you don't know the Father. See, if you knew that Jesus was the Father, and you start this stupid argument. This is talking about love. The Bible tells us that God is love. God is love. So the Father is love, right? God is love. Right?
John 3:16.
Amen.
Right. Okay. So the reason people persecute people who believe in the death, burial, and resurrection is because they don't know love. That's why. That's the answer. Not because, see, you don't know the Father. See, if you knew the Son, you knew the Father. See, Trinity oneness. See, you're going to hell. No, I don't know where the heck these people are getting this crazy crap. No, it's because the person lacks love. That's why they do it. And that's how we could tell who they are. Because if they had love, they wouldn't do this. That's the answer. Not Trinity and oneness. Give me a verse that I can argue. You know what? You just need to sit down, whoever, both of you sides. Trinity and oneness. You all need spankings. Every one of you. Just shut up already. You're killing me with this crap. You don't even know what you're talking about half the time. Anything that just sounds like it's against the other. It's like, bro, go make disciples. The Bible said, be fruitful and multiply. That's what it says. Not, I'm going to go prove these people wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, you're still not being fruitful, are you? Yeah, I am. They'll lie too. Yeah, I'm still being fruitful because, see, I'm pulling them out of this cult of Trinity or out of this cult of oneness. See, I'm setting them free. No, bro, go sit your butt down. Go sit the heck down somewhere. You ain't doing nothing. Tyler, what's up, Tyler? What's on your mind, man? Tyler, what's up? Brother. What's going on?
Hey, how do we know we love, or how do we know God?
Are you a Christian,
that
Tyler?
We love him.
Tyler, are you a Christian?
I was my whole life until I started reading the Bible 3 years ago.
So what are
how
you?
How do we know we love God?
So what are you now?
We love him.
What are you now then, if you're not a Christian?
I'm just a believer in Jehovah and Yeshua, his son.
Okay, are you saying hold on a second, Tyler, hold on a second, calm down. Are you saying you thought you used to be saved, but now you are?
Yeah, basically because there's only 12 gates in the New Jerusalem, and there's not a Christian or Gentile gate. You need to be grafted into the Commonwealth of Israel by keeping the 2 covenants of promise.
Right. So how did you become saved?
The 10 Commandments.
How did you become saved, Tyler?
Once I humbled my heart to Jehovah.
No, I know, but how? How did you become saved? Did you become saved through the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ?
The death, burial, and resurrection is just a vehicle to what was prophesied for
Yeah,
the
but you're not
Messiah
answering
to
my
do.
question. Is that how you got saved? That's what I'm asking you.
Well, the death, burial, and resurrection was the vehicle that was prophesied to end sacrificial law and magnify and make honorable.
Yeah, so
the
is
Holy
that so that's
Covenant.
not
He
so
re- he
so that's
refreshed-
not so that's
he
not how
refreshed the-
uh-huh. So that's not how you got saved? I just need a yes or no, man. Is that how you got saved or not?
I mean, it's a part of it, but
What's the rest of it? What's the rest? Give me the rest of it. Give me the rest. So if you believe in Christ, what else does someone have to do to be saved?
I believe in Yeshua, which is his Hebrew name.
Yeah, but that's the Messiah. That's the death, burial, and resurrection. So I'm asking you, other than Yeshua, what else does a person have to do to be saved?
It never changed its obedience to the Father.
So what's that? What's the obedience to the Father?
The two covenants of promise, the promise of eternal life through which is Ephesians.
So make it practical.
Ephesians 2,
So make it practical. What does a person, what else do they have to be or do other than believing in the Messiah?
Follow the 10 Commandments, which is the law of life and liberty.
Okay, so basically,
all
right, right.
Not the law of sin and death.
Okay, right. So if someone, what laws are you talking about specifically?
Just the 10 Commandments and eating biblically clean, and then.
Okay, so you're saying, all right. So if a person eats pork, they're going to hell.
Yes, if you read Isaiah 65 and 66.
All right, so you don't know that the swine that we're not supposed to eat from is talking about unbelievers, not a pig, right?
No, it's the line kind of the scribes in Jeremiah 8:8. If you read Acts 10.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I know all that. I know all that. So what's the reason that swine is unclean? Why?
It was never considered food. It's an abomination to God.
You know, it's funny. You claim to know so much about the law, but you don't know why the swine is unclean.
Swine's unclean because Jehovah says it's unclean.
Absolutely not, sir. Are you the one that teaches people the law or not? How do you not know the answer to what I'm asking you? There is
Acts 10 is about
no, absolutely not.
Yes.
Go find out. Go find Tyler. Go read why the swine is unclean. Go read it. It tells you.
Acts 10 is
no. Okay, fine. All right, fine. No, fine.
Let me finish my statement, please.
You're in the New Testament. You have to go to the Old Testament to answer my question, sir.
We are not in the New Covenant. Read Jeremiah 30, 31.
All right, Tyler, you're changing. Tyler, you're changing the topic. Listen, my question is, why are swine unclean? It tells us in the Bible why they are. You're not answering my question.
Okay, then you tell me why.
The thing is, though, before I give you the answer, I'm very, very confused on someone who is claiming that if you eat pork, you're going to hell, but yet you can't tell me why the swine is unclean. Y'all see what I'm saying? No offense, Tyler. I'm not trying to be rude.
Let's read.
Hold on a second, Tyler. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm not trying to be rude, but this blows my mind when people have been taught that if they eat a pig, they're going to hell. And so when I ask a person who claims this, why is a swine not clean? But let me just say this. Where is the first time that we're told not to eat swine? What book, Tyler?
I mean, it's in Genesis. I mean, the Noahic covenant, he brought clean animals on the ark 7 by 7, and he brought unclean animals on the ark 2 by 2.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
If they would have ate the unclean back then, we would not have
I'm talking about.
Listen here. Can I just say the verse I wanted to say? He promised that with the Noahic covenant, that Noah, which was the whole world, there was no Israel back then. That was Noah and his 8 people. He was not going to flood the world again, but he was going to burn it with fire. And if you go to Isaiah,
Tyler, hold on. Tyler, you said you were going to read a verse. Read the verse.
Okay, I'm going.
All right.
Isaiah 65. Hold on, let me get to it. I don't got my Bible in hand, so I'm going through a Bible app that I don't use as much.
You're good.
I have ready the verse if you
No,
need
no,
it.
no. Let him do his thing, man. He's good.
No, not his.
No, no. Okay. All right. My bad. Okay.
All right, here. The beginning of that Isaiah 65 is about. Well, basically, the whole world is deceived, and the only people that aren't deceived are the very elect, the 144,000 that return to the covenants of promise. It's prophesied all through your Old
Tyler,
Testament.
you told me you were gonna.
Okay, I'm
All
reading.
right, just read it. Just please.
A people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of bricks. That's your modern day churches. Which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels, their body, which say, stand by thyself, come not near me, for I am holier than thou. They make, now I'm speaking, they make up their own self-righteousness, say, I don't want to hear the law of the Lord. But here, back to the verse, these are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all day. Let me go to Isaiah 66. And we'll go to like 17 or so.
Yeah, what verse? Hold on a second. What verse did you just read? Isaiah what?
Isaiah 3.
Isaiah 63.
Or I'm sorry, Isaiah 65 verse 3. Sorry.
No, the one before that.
No, the one. Yeah, man.
It believe it or not, that's a he's. Are you a British Hebrew?
No, whoa, Bill, hold on. Listen, no, whoa, hey, Tyler. All right, hold on a second. No, we're not doing that. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, Isaiah 65.
Verse 2, you can start there.
Is that where you started?
I started out at 3, but 2 can also be.
All right, look, Isaiah 65. I'm just going to start at 1. Look, I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold
That's
me.
Talking about the people.
I don't need an interpretation. Tyler, do not need an interpretation. Just let me read it. All right. I know what it's talking about. I don't need anyone to help with that. So it says, behold me unto a nation that was not called my nation. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. So it says they walk after their own thoughts, right? All right, and it says, a people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altar of bricks. What does it mean that they sacrifice in gardens, Tyler? Tyler.
It muted me, sorry.
It's all right. Hey, verse 3. So Isaiah 65, verse 3, it says, a people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens. What does that mean?
I don't know exactly what the sacrifice in gardens mean, but I can give some insight on the burnt incense.
No, but what I'm saying is it's important.
Burnt incense is an idiom.
No, hold on a second. Tyler. Hold on, Tyler. I'm asking about the sacrificing in gardens. Listen, if you're going to bring up a verse, and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, and you're going to say,
I'm being honest.
but if you're going to, I know, listen, I'm just saying, if something makes God angry, that's why you're bringing this up, because you're saying you figured out what makes God angry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why for whatever reason, for someone that says, I know what God makes angry, I know what makes him mad, it's just very careless for me to hear that the one thing that also make God's mad, you don't know what it is. Wouldn't you think it's important?
That's one part of a verse, which, I mean, that's,
So what does that
you know,
mean? Hold on a
due
second.
season. We don't know everything,
Hold on,
but you only get the Holy Spirit if you obey.
Tyler, hold on a second. I don't care if it's one, it makes him angry. So if I'm going to use the Bible to save people because they need to do good and stop making God angry, I should be able to explain what that is. Wouldn't you say?
Well, if there's one, yeah, sure.
Okay, so watch this. Hold on.
Maybe the Spirit will lead me to that.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I'm not trying to be rude. Just hear me out. So when you say, well, I don't have to know what that is, because what matters is these things still make God mad. So I'm only going to talk about these things. Well, I guess everybody you've ever ministered to are going to hell because they don't know what this other thing is. So you're getting them to stop doing 2 or 3 things. But the one thing that you don't understand what it is sending people to hell left and right, and you don't care?
Well, let's keep reading, because just me not knowing that one part of that verse does not diminish.
But that one
verse
part,
4,
hold on. But that one part sends people to hell.
which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things in their vessels.
Right. Okay. So watch this. So hold on, Tyler. Hold on a second, Tyler. So you tell people to stop eating pork. So let's say they stop doing that. Let's say they listen to old Tyler there. Are they good with God now?
It's not listening to me. It's what.
Oh my Lord,
Jehovah's word.
This
is Isaiah.
Tyler. I'm talking about what
Yeshua says.
Tyler.
You fools for not
Tyler, I'm talking about Tyler, buddy. I'm talking about what you're repeating. I know you didn't write the freaking text, dude. I'm talking about what you are repeating to people. Do you understand what I'm saying or not? Tyler.
Well, I mean, it's pretty.
Hold on, Tyler. Hold on.
Tyler,
you don't think that I'm saying you wrote the Bible? Are you saying that? You think I'm saying that?
We don't all know everything.
No. I need to be clear. Tyler. Sir, I'm asking you. Hello. Listen, I'm trying to get on the same page with you, brother. I do not believe you wrote the Bible. So when you say things like, well, it ain't Tyler to say it. Well, no, duh. You're not the one that wrote it. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but you are repeating what it's saying, right? Are we on the same page there?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, okay. So you're repeating what it's saying. Hold on, Tyler. Come on, man. Listen, I know what the next verse says. What I'm telling you is, if you get everybody to stop doing all the stuff in this verse, couldn't they still be sacrificing in gardens? Couldn't they still be doing that?
I'm just not seeing the point. I mean,
you're not seeing the point? Hold on a second. All these things make God mad, but since you only understand 2 or 3 of them, you're going to at least tell 2 or 3. That's fair. I get it. But what I'm saying is, you're not telling them. Hold on.
If you're going to preach to people that it's fine to eat pork,
you're changing the topic. You're changing the topic. Nobody here. You're a liar. You have never heard me tell people go eat pork. Where did you hear me say that?
I didn't say.
Okay, so
I didn't say you did. But
all right then. Hold on. The point that you're trying to make, I'm telling you your point. You're saying that right here, where it talks about burning incense of the brick, right here where it talks about eating swine's flesh, talk about all these things. I get your point. You're missing my point. My point is, if those people stop doing all these things, but they're still doing this one thing right here, which is that sacrifice in gardens. How can you get someone to stop doing it if you don't know what it is?
What I know is the church is 100% apostate.
Okay, all right,
in the
Tyler,
end times.
Tyler, listen, we can't go any further unless you tell me we can't go any further. You don't even know what this is. So how am I supposed to look at anything else? So look, I'm going to go ahead and read further. Look, I'm going to read further. Let me just read it.
Let's go to Isaiah 66,
Hold on.
verse
No,
15.
I'm going to read 65. This is where we're at right now. Okay, calm down. I'm not trying to argue with you. Just this part's not making sense to me. Okay, look, let's go further. So that sacrifice in gardens, comma, and burneth incense upon altars of brick, comma, which remain among the graves, comma, and lodge in monuments, comma, which eat swine's flesh, comma, and broth of abominable things in their vessels, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith the Lord, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed upon the hills. Therefore, will I measure their former work into their bosom? Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in a cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. What does it mean that a blessing is in the new wine that's in the cluster?
This is the 144,000, Jacob, my servant.
Okay, hold on. So hold on. So hold on a second. Hold on. You can listen. Hold on. So when you hear new cluster, new wine, you don't think of Jesus Christ?
No, because
Tyler, look, buddy, listen, I know it sounds like I'm being disrespectful, but this is the part that I wanted to get to was this new wine, because you didn't understand what the garden was talking about. I knew you weren't going to understand the new wine. So listen. All right. Okay. All right. Tyler. All right. Our conversation's done. All right. You have a good one, man.
Can I just answer come on, let me just land.
Hold on. Whoa. You said, all right. You said, can I just answer your question? No offense, Tyler. You're not answering my questions. Okay. The reason that I even went to Isaiah 65 is because I was 1000% certain that you weren't going to know what this new wine was, just like I knew you didn't know what the garden was talking about. But you sure do know what eating wine's flesh is. It's a pig. No, 100%. That's not what it's referring to. It's referring to people. Tyler, I still hope you're here because swine is referring to people. The garden is referring to our heart, and the new wine, the new cluster is referring to Christ. And you didn't say any of that. You're talking about the law because God's mad and you don't understand what he's mad about. So, no offense. All right, guys, it's already 12, but it's all right. I'm still going to read John 15. Because it's all relevant. All this is relevant. We are not even close to being outside of what we're talking about. So, 21. So this is John 15:21. It says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake. Because why? Because they know not him that sent me. And who is him that sent Christ? Anybody?
The Father.
Right, which is love.
Yep.
Right? The Father, which is love.
You got some in the elevator track.
Okay. All right, let's see. Crunch, what's up, man? What's on your mind? Nestle Crunch? No, Crunch, Mr. Crunch. Crunch, what's up? No? All right.
Frank was like, I don't want to get cooked.
I don't know. Sawyer. I don't know what happened. I tried to bring up Sawyer.
He's been there for a while. Maybe he left. I think he left.
Oh, they left already. All right. I probably made them wait too long. That's my fault. My bad. All right. So, yeah. So, 21, that's where I'm at, right? They do unto you for my name's sake because they know not him that sent me. Anyone that knows him, which we know that name as the Father or title, the Father or God or love, when you understand what Jesus is saying right here, he's literally saying because they don't have God in their heart. This is talking about people who are not born again. A born again person is not persecuting a born again person. What did Jesus say when they accused him of being Beelzebub? That he's using the power of Beelzebub to cast out demons. Does anybody remember what Jesus said?
Can Satan cast out Satan?
Exactly. Which 100% what he's saying is that would be stupid. Like that doesn't even, he literally is saying, guys, that doesn't even logically make sense. Why would Satan cast himself out? That's stupid. Doesn't even make sense. But you know what? There's a lot of people that say dumb things and they think their arguments make sense. It happens a lot. So 2022, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. I'm going to read this in the Amplified. It says, if I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have their guilt of their sin, but now they have no excuse for their sin. So the covering, who is Christ, he is saying that the covering came. Now they have no excuse because they didn't use the covering to cover their sin, which he's talking about himself. So when you commit blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which is rejecting the love of God that sent Christ, if you reject God's love, then how can you have love in you if you reject his love? You have no love in you. So if you don't have the love of God in you, then you don't recognize Jesus. You don't recognize him. Why do you think when Philip asked Jesus, show me the Father, and Jesus says, have I not been with you this whole time, Philip? Then why do you say, show me the Father? So here goes another stupid Trinity and oneness argument, both of them. See, he said, Jesus is the Father. No, the Father's in heaven. I don't know how this gets so confusing. Yeah, but he is. If you want to talk about how Jesus came to, 100%, that's the Father, 100%. But when Jesus is here, he talks the same way he does throughout the entire Bible because he's the author of the entire Bible. So it's not proper for him to call himself Father. That's not proper. It's not. Not because he's not the Father in the sense of where he came from, the bosom of the Father. No. In that sense, he is the Father. It confuses a lot of people. But if he would have said, I am the Father, everybody on earth would have died. And I know people are like, no, because he was a man. Nah, bro. No. He's the Son. So through the Son, we have salvation, not through the Father. And then here comes the argument again. It's the stupidest argument. Guys, do yourself a favor. Stop wasting your time with this argument. I'm telling you, you're hurting your own brain. Both of y'all are saying the same thing. You both sound so stupid to me. No, he's one right here. Over here, 3 and 1. Like, oh my God. It sounds like two kids fighting over a toy. It's crazy. It's craziness. It's yes, I understand it's not easy to explain. I get all that. But again, it's not something you have to understand in order to be saved. That's a lie. You get to understand it, but you don't have to understand it. But you get to. But if you don't have the love of God in you, you're not going to recognize Jesus. You're not going to recognize him. So if you have the love of God in you, for instance, Kelly was asking me a question. It happened to be about that a few days ago. And she was just asking out of clarity, like, hey, well, why is this pointing to this or that? And the thing is, Satan looking at Jesus, he didn't see God. You have to understand what I'm saying. Him looking at Jesus, he didn't see God. But the things that he would do, he saw God. You understand? The things that he was doing, he's like, listen, if you think Satan like totally forgets like how God is, you mistaken. How do you think he knows who to persecute? How do you think the flesh, how do you think it knows what to persecute? Because it recognizes something that's not of itself. It's complete opposite. So when it says that Jesus received the Spirit, right, in the shape of a dove, in the shape like a dove, and it says, and the Spirit led Jesus to be tempted of Satan. How did Satan, how do you think he viewed Jesus? Because he could recognize things that he was doing. You understand? It's kind of like, yeah, y'all seen that movie Avatar, right? You got the guy in the wheelchair. He's got a twin brother that's like a scientist or whatever, and his brother passes away. So they go get his twin because his blood's identical. And so they're like, look, we have no choice. You got to go with us, okay? Because we already have this avatar built. I think his name is Jake. That's his name. So they put Jake in this blue body, this avatar. But the thing is, if his body is in like this incubator, but yet you're talking to this avatar, and see in the movie Avatar, they kind of make them look similar. What I'm saying is they had to do that in the movie so we know who the characters were when you first start watching it. But if they wanted to, they could have changed, they could have made the guy look like a completely different human being in the face. But at first it would cause confusion in the movie. We would. At the very first time you watched it, you're like, wait a minute, who's that? Because the voice is going to be different, the face is like, everything's different. But what I'm saying is, if the whole avatar thing was real, if it was real, if you were to take someone's mind and put it in a complete different body, like an avatar, but it doesn't look like them, and you take a family member, mom, dad, brother, sister, or whatever, and he starts hanging out with them, he never tells them who he is, though. It would not take them long to be like, wait a minute. There's things that you would pick up on and say, wait a second. Even if they're trying to hide it, you would still catch it, right? It'd be like,
there's only one person who does that.
yes, there's only one person who's like, if they put me in some avatar and all I was told was, all right, I'm gonna put you around 20 people that say they know you, and you just can't be you. Eventually, I'm gonna say, "Gaw." I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. And
He said,
and somebody's gonna be like, wait a second, did he just say "gaw"? And then I used it right. I'm gonna use it right because it's me. And so eventually somebody is going to come up to me and be like, hey, Trot? Somebody's going to do that. And I'm be like, what do you mean? Who is this Trot person you speak of, right? So Satan knows the things that God does. He recognizes them. And before Jesus came, my friend, that was not here. That's why you hear people argue with me and they'll say, the image and likeness of God was here because Adam was made in the image and likeness of God. No, brother. Mm-mm. The thing that God is was not here. But when the image and likeness came, when it came, that's how Satan, that is how Satan recognized who he is. Not because of his body. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But because of who he is, like the way he is, the way he handles things, how he responds to certain things. It wasn't the physical body of Jesus that Satan's like, oh, there he is. Mm-mm. No. It was what came out of his heart. The abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The stuff that he said, the things that he was doing. It wasn't just the miracles. It wasn't just that. It was everything about him. The way he acts. Yeah, okay, yeah. His mannerisms. It was something about him that made it easy for Satan to be like, you know, are you the son of God or not? But what he didn't know is the plan. Obviously, we know that, right? The Bible says, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Okay, there's a reason it says it that way. But so when Philip said to Jesus, and he said, show me the Father. If you pay real close attention to the way Jesus answered him, he said, I haven't been here with you this whole time, and you don't know who I am? Now, you have to understand, these people didn't already know God before him. So it's real easy for someone to say, hey, can you show us the Father? Because they've never met the Father before. What I'm saying is, they've never met a person like Jesus. They never met. So because Jesus, the entire Godhead is inside of him, it was the first time that they actually met the Father through Jesus. It was the first time. So they're still thinking that they're different. So Philip's thinking that they're different somehow. And he's trying to tell them, bro, me and the Father are one. Like, have I not been here this whole time? And then why are you saying, show me the Father? He's saying who you met through this body is the Father, because the Father's soul and spirit is in that body. So if the soul and the spirit is in that avatar, if it's in there, then that means that the person they're talking to is the Jake that's in the incubator. If you understand what I'm saying, they're talking to the same person, same one. It's just not easy to understand because it's just not for your carnal mind to really put all that together. It's just not easy at first. So it's 100% the invisible Father who's in heaven that is saying that to him. Bro, what are you talking about? Why are you saying, show me the Father? I've been here with you this whole time. So this is where a Trinitarian comes in, or I'm sorry, a oneness. See, Jesus is the Father. But you talk to a real oneness and you say, hey, so is the invisible Father in heaven? No, what are you talking about? He's down here. But a Trinitarian be like, no, the Father's up there. So the Trinitarian understands that part. But the Trinitarian don't understand spirit, soul, and body. They don't. I don't give a crap what they say. No offense. They don't. They don't understand that part. So again, the oneness and Trinitarians, they're too far to each of their side. You know, it's kind of like the Democrat and the Republican, what do they call them? Extremists, right? You have Democrats and Republicans, right? Both sides. And then you have extremists, like they're way the heck far right. And then the Democrats, you know, they got their extremists way the heck over there. And they're both crazy. For the most part, the Democrats that sit side by side, not the extremists, but the ones that sit side by side, they just disagree on some things. The other sides are radical. And there's unalivement involved. It's a bit much, okay? You know, and that's how I see the Trinitarian and the oneness. They're too far. They're too far fetched. They're so far away from each other. They couldn't make 1 cent together, man. Honestly, and they start hate. There's animosity and hate. It's crazy. Please get yourself out of the Trinitarian oneness cult. I'm not talking about whether you're a Trinitarian or a oneness. No. The extreme, the cult part, man. Get out of that. Yeah, it becomes its own religion, for God's sakes. Neither one of them are fruitful. Neither one of them are doing what God's telling them to do, which is be fruitful and multiply. 21, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him who sent me. If you know the one who sent him, which is love, then you'll recognize him. And you won't ask, Lord, show me the Father. You won't ask that. You won't ask that because he is 100% the image of the invisible God. He is. But when you start getting into the argument of Trinity and oneness, and you're trying to tell them that Jesus is the Father, they think you're trying to take away the one that's up there. And it's because if you understand spirit, soul, and body, you understand that the invisible that is everywhere, the invisible, Jesus was the image of the invisible God. But his physical body was not invisible and it was not everywhere. Could he have been if he wanted to? Yes, but then there wouldn't be a distinction anymore. You need to understand this. If Jesus, if the invisible put everything that he was in God in the sense that the Father no longer exists, trust me, you'd know. Jesus would not be praying. There would be no prayer. So the invisible still was there was still a distinction. So again, it's not real easy to break down, but if as soon as you take away the distinction between the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that you're starting to lie. There is a distinction between the three. There is no refuting this. I don't even know why people try. There's no refuting it. But all of them are one, and I don't like to argue with anyone about this, but the Catholics will say, that they're the same essence. Well, that is true. They are the same essence, but when you stay right there with the whole person essence, now you're getting away from spirit, soul, and body. You're getting away. You're starting to become a Trinitarian extremist. Now you have to believe in the Trinity in order to be saved, because you're taking it way too far. God never is trying to get people. If you don't believe in the Trinity, you're not going, bro, that's a dang lie. That's a lie. 100%. The Bible makes it very clear that we are spirit, soul, and body. We are. And God made us in his image and likeness. So the Bible makes it very clear in so many ways that it was us that was made in his image. So when you tell someone that God is spirit, soul, and body, they'll say, God's not like you. They'll say, God's not like you. I'm like, what? Right. God's not like us. We are like God. We are like him, that he made us the way that we are. But they'll flip it. They'll flip it and say, well, God's not like you. No, sir or ma'am. God is not like us. We are like him. He made us in his image and in his likeness. Oh, let's see. Oh.
Why, when they get to passages like Genesis 19, where it says, the Lord called down fire from the Lord in heaven, they get confused on that part.
Yeah.
What was Stephen describing in Acts 7:56? It's crazy because that word humble, when in Philippians, where it says Christ humbled himself, made himself of no reputation, who being the form of God,
Yeah.
thought it not robbery equal. It says he humbled himself. That word humbled in the Greek means to make low or bring low.
Yeah.
So like he made himself low. And that makes sense, with what you just said.
Yeah, hold on, Breezy. What where are your mods? I don't know. Can I get a mod or two on YouTube? It's kind of getting crazy in there. Freaking a war breaking out. Yeah. Yeah, what time is it? 12. All right, let me do a one more verse at least. Okay, let's see. He has sent me 22. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had, hold on. Unto them they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. Again, talking about rejecting him. And again, going back to John 15, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, going back to that, where Jesus says that he's the vine and we are the branches. And he talks about how that if you don't have fruit, that you'll be taken away. And for those that, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it that it may bring forth more fruit. So the way he's talking about us being part of the vine, and throughout the Bible, you'll see how it describes how the fowls of the air and the beasts of the field, they come to certain trees seeking shade. And it's because Jesus is the tree of life. He's the tree that we go to seeking shade, just like he gave shade to Jonah in the form of a gourd or a big plant. And he didn't plant it. Jonah did not plant that seed, take care of it. He didn't earn this shade. He didn't earn it. So God gives him shade that he didn't earn, and then he caused a worm to go eat the plant just to hear him complain. So after he complains, he said, "Hold on a second, bro. You're going to complain about the gourd? What did you do to even earn it?" He's trying to show him his logic. That you're saying that the people of Nineveh, they don't deserve God's grace, love, and mercy. He said, then explain to me how when the shade was given to you from the sun, oh, how you loved, how it was just gracefully given to you. You sure did love it. But now that it's taken away, you're mad, as though you did something to earn it. Did you earn it? No. Oh. So now you're saying that the shade should have never been given to you. So basically, Jonah, you need to earn your own shade. Bro, is a pretty good slap in the face. He's literally using his own logic against him, saying, bro, with the way you're thinking makes no sense. And he says, and with that being said, I'm going to use your logic against you there. He's like, I'm going to use your logic against you. How are you telling me now that these people don't deserve my shade then? That they didn't earn. It didn't take them long to get him to have Jonah understand. All right. Okay. Remember, guys, if you're going to come in and guys, don't just kick everybody out of the chat just because they're saying certain things, okay? Like stuff you may not like. No, it's got to be ridiculous, man. All right. Just remember that. I mean, keep tabs on it, but all right. I think it was 21, right? Sent me no 22 for their sin. All right, finally get into 23 today. Okay. He that hateth me hateth my Father. So who hates the Father? Guys, who hates the Father? I know it's been a few hours. This is the last one. We'll be done.
Those who hate the Son.
It says in 23, it says, he that hateth me hateth the Father also. Right? So if you hate Jesus, you hate the Father. And trust me, this is
the Father.
And this is not a Trinitarian oneness argument. So stupid. It says, he that hateth me hates the Father. That's what it says. So if you say that Jesus is, that the death, burial, so this is for all Islamic believers. And they go, oh, we don't hate, we love the prophet Jesus. No, you're a liar. You're a liar. You do hate him. You do. And you say you don't. Yes, you do. I don't believe that you're like intentionally trying to hate him. I don't believe that. But that doesn't matter. Whether you're intentionally trying to do it or not, because you cannot come back alive from your death state without him. You can't come back alive, which means you hate yourself and you don't even know it. But he's saying that, again, he's saying this, that if you do not receive him, you hate the Father. So when the Islamic believers reject the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, they reject the Father. They reject the God that they claim that they serve. Period. The end. So when the denomination of the Catholics say that Islam worships the same God, my friend, they hate your God. That's what this says right here. That make no sense. Oh, that we worship the same God. No. The scripture says that if you hate Jesus, you hate the Father. This is talking about God. This is talking about God. And if they go, well, no, but they don't hate him. They always say, peace be upon him. I promise you, Jesus don't need nobody's peace. He's got his own peace. You don't become godly or peaceful because you said, peace be upon him. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you hate Jesus, you hate the Father. And the word hate that I'm referring to, let me show you what kind of hate this is talking about. It's talking about rejecting what he said he was going to do. Jesus said he was going to die. So when the Islamic believers say, no, God would never kill his own son. Okay, first of all, Jesus said that he was going to die. What are you talking about? Oh, no, the scripture has been corrupted. No, my friend, your brain has been corrupted. You're the corruption. You are. He said that he was going to die from his own mouth. So if you love Jesus, blessed be upon him, then blessed be upon the words that he speaks. And the words that he speaks was he was going to die. And he did. And then he resurrected. So if you don't believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, you are an antichrist. And if you are an antichrist, then you hate God. Period. The end. God is not going to look at your feelings, how you pray all the time. And God. He don't see none of that, my friend. If you don't have Christ in you, he don't even see you. He don't even see you. There is no you. There is no you. You're a black dot walking around the world, and anyone that is saved by Christ is a white dot. You know, dark and light, dark and light. You understand? Not skin color for you goofballs that don't understand what dark and light's talking about. Darkness and light's not talking about skin. Not talking about skin color. It's talking about day and night. You understand? So during the day, God doesn't like white people, and then at nighttime, he likes black people. That's stupid. That's how stupid you would have to see. You'd have to, if it was all about skin color, then fine. Then everything has to be about skin. That means when it's sunlight time, the day walkers come out. The day walkers. That means if you're white, you better come out when it's daytime, because once it turns about about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the Hispanic people can come out, and then when it's about 8, 9 o'clock at night, the only time you can be out is if you're black. That's how stupid you'd have to be if everything was about skin color, right? Kate, what about my hat? Stolen valor? What are you talking about? How? Because of my CIB? How's that stolen valor? Oh, now I'm seeing the other comments. Thank you, whoever that was. God, that was getting wild quick, boy. She started talking about having bad gas, so it had nothing to do with my hat. All right. Let's see. Oh, let me go back to, he that hateth me hateth my Father also. All right, so real quick before we're done, based on John 15, so 23 said, he that hateth me hateth my Father also. Okay, so John 15, Jesus calls himself what? The very beginning, he calls himself something. Oh, Lloyd, let me say this quick. Lloyd, I don't ever take the bait. Bubba, let me do my thing. I know what I'm doing. You ask anybody in here. I know what I'm doing, Bubba. No, in John 15, what does he call himself?
The vine.
The vine. He says, I am the true vine, ye are the branches. And he said, my Father So if you hate the vine, you hate the Father also. How does that make sense based on what Jesus calls himself? How does this make sense based on what Jesus calls himself? Anybody? Oh, my bad. I didn't know there was only a couple of you up here. My bad.
No.
I apologize. Yeah, so
No, you're good.
yeah. Well, I'll just say it. Let's see. Troy, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Christ is the only begotten.
So while you're doing that, wouldn't it be the husbandman tends to the vine? Or
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's because the Father planted the vine.
Like,
You understand? So,
yeah.
So if the Father planted the vine and he's the dresser, right? The keeper of the vine, and you hate the vine, then you hate the Father. Do you understand? So the distinction between Son, the vine, and the Father, the gardener of the vine, there's a distinction between the two, and it can't be left out. The distinction is real. So God really is a gardener. Yes, God is a gardener. Absolutely. And your heart is the Garden of Eden. That's where he plants the vine, who is Christ. You understand? He went to the east. He planted a garden in the east. That's you. You are that east. You're it. I did talk about that. That was a long time ago. Let's see. Christ is the begotten, because I remember you talked about your granddad would pick up dead. Yes, he would. My grandpa, if there was a deer on the side of the road that got hit by a car, you better go get your buck knife. Hey, he go take that backstrap half right in front of me, boy. He goes, hey, wrap this up real quick. Be eating that sucker that night. You hear me? Oh, that person ain't lying. You've been here before. That was a long time ago that I recall ever talking about that. It's been a minute. Today, would we call him a landscaper? Yeah, you can call him a landscaper. But the point is that Jesus is saying is, if you hate me, you hate the Father. Listen, he called himself the true vine. And the Father is the planter. The Father is. So if the Father planted a vine, and we're going to say that's Christ, the true vine, and he's purging it and he's making this tree become beautiful, and you hate that tree, how can you say you don't hate the Father? You understanding what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So for an Islamic believer to reject the vine as the savior and say, I'm going to bypass you, I'm going to God because Jesus has a God. They don't realize what they're saying. They're saying, Jesus has a God. Yeah, I'm going to go to God, not to the man. I'm going to go to the God. They're missing a huge point. They don't understand that Jesus is the only tree in this world that was planted by God. The only one. I don't know if y'all are hearing what I'm saying. Jesus is the only tree that was planted in this earth by God. He's the only tree. You understand? He's the only one. That's why it says that Jesus is the image of the invisible God. That's why I say Adam was made in the image and likeness of God. Adam was. But when he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, his spirit died. Therefore, there was no image of God here. Absolutely not. 100% not. That's why Jesus is a seed of him, seed of his kind. So when he planted Christ in this world, it's proof to us that seed right there, the one that's growing, that became fruitful and multiplied through the disciples, that's why he's the truth. because he's the only one that was planted here. So when an Islamic believer that has no understanding of God other than the corrupted, plagiarized book that they have, which does nothing but help you confuse everything, when they say, no, I prayed to the Father. Nope, Jesus had a father. No. Jesus didn't have a father the way you're saying. No. Jesus is the true vine, and his father is the husbandry. You understand? His father is the gardener. So if his father is the gardener, and the thing that the father takes care of is his true vine, and that's the only one he has right there, my friend. Now what they are saying is that all the other prophets are also seeds that God planted and took care of. That's a lie. It's a lie, bro. That is a complete lie, because in order for any of them to be like Christ, it would have to come directly from the seed of the tree. And none of them came from the seed of that tree. They all came from Adam's seed, corrupted. So when they go, oh, God can do all things, he can make anybody this, anybody that. You're right, he can, but he don't. Because if he did, he'd be a liar. He'd be a liar if he just made people a seed from him, but yet they didn't come from him. Absolutely not. The Bible explains itself, and it does it in intricate detail, and some of it's not really easy at first to understand. But all right, so we'll start back at what's today anyway? Today's Wednesday.
Yes, it's Wednesday. It's just another day the Lord has made. I don't know what you're trying to differentiate these days for.
All right.
Sando asked if the days in Genesis, he says, are the days in Genesis something of significance?
Are they what?
Are the days in Genesis something of significance?
I could have swore we went over that already. All right.
There's not really much context to it either.
Yeah. Easy. What are you saying? I'm really trying to understand. What are you trying to understand? Easy. I'm sorry. I just saw that question, or I just saw that statement.
Got somebody in the box.
Oh man. Yeah. Whoever's in the box, guys, we're about to hop off. I know, guys. We're about, no offense, whoever you are. I've never, easy. Just come back, man. We're right now. So, man, I don't know what part this is. Are we at part? We might be at part 6 or 7, and I don't mean to say 6, 7. So it's 6 or 7. I apologize. I don't know. Yes, I will. All right, all good, man. Yeah, easy. Also, if you're just coming in to listen, to let me see, John 15, like your first time hearing me going over John 15. I go over it in full detail. Like right now, we're in verse 20 something right now, 23, 24. I'm sorry, 22, 23. We might be able to finish tomorrow, if not Friday. Basically, John 15 was 2 weeks long, and that's because I went everywhere with it because there's so many places. So if you're not already going to YouTube, you can go watch where I'm discussing part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, or 6. Thank you, JH. Yeah, at Descaled Live. So if you want to find Descaled on YouTube, you have to put the @ symbol, at Descaled Live, and then make sure you subscribe, and we'll continue. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll probably start around 22, 23. And if we don't finish tomorrow, we'll finish Friday for sure. Anybody got anything? CJ, so in 2 days?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so guys, this is what CJ is saying. So if it don't work out, I need everybody to come down to CJ, man. CJ is saying that Descaled Music, all right, it's going to be on Apple Music, it's going to be on Spotify. It's supposed to come out Thursday, so really tomorrow midnight, which is Friday morning. So I'll just say Friday. So it's supposed to come out Friday. It's going to be one song, which is "I Am Your Garden," and I can't wait for it to come out because I want to put it on my playlist. But right after that, it will be the entire album. Okay, the entire album will come out. I think is there 10 songs? How many songs is there? 10? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's 10. So the whole album's going to come out, and the title of the album is, what did I say? What was it? Wise Man Anthem. Okay, because there is a song in there that I'm calling a Christmas song. But when I say Christmas, I'm not talking about it's a jolly jolly Christmas. I'm not talking about Santa Claus. Okay, we're not talking about Santa Claus. We're talking about Christ. Okay, so it's obviously going to be a descaled Christ song. All right, and the song is called Wise Man Anthem. That's what it's called. That's what the album is called. Every song that's made, well, there's a couple of them that's doesn't really go around that, but it's 2 songs that I threw in there anyway. But the first song is going to come out, and hey, you're going to upload the album after the song comes out on Friday.
Yep.
Okay, and you're saying that all those are going to be released to Apple Music when?
Hoping by the 31st.
By the 30th. So it should be on Apple Music and Spotify and all that in December.
Yeah, it should be.
Should be.
I mean, it'll be that weekend, if not like that 31st, 1st of January.
All right. So the album should come out, and so I wanted that song. Honestly, I wanted the Wise Man Anthem. I wanted that song actually, and I am talking about the entire album. I wanted the whole thing to be released Friday, but we had some hiccups, so it's not going to be released on Friday because I wanted to give everybody a couple of weeks to hear Wise Man Anthem for a couple of weeks while Christmas was here. But it's all right. What I'll probably end up doing is I might end up playing it. Who created the audio? Lloyd, so far all the songs in this album I wrote all of them. So all of them are written by me. So that's who created it. CJ is the one that's going to be uploading them. So if you haven't heard any descaled music, all you got to do is either go to Descaled's YouTube or Descaled's TikTok. About 5 or 6 of the songs are uploaded there. So there's a few songs that nobody's heard yet, and I'm just waiting for that to come out on the album. That's kind of how I want to play it. All right. I'm singing in the background. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. We will see y'all in the morning. God bless.
God bless.